hopefully.
Number 5 is the first of our features here at Randwick. The Bill Ritchie Handicap, 1,400 metres, Group 3. The winner goes through to the Epsom.
And they think that he will get the job done as our 230 favourite in from 270. Oh President, wasn't hard to miss his try. Now out to 460, top ranked. Fantastic to see him back here at the races. Is it sixes, purple sector.
Ritchie Handicap, stand by for a start. Ready now. Gates are back, they're off and racing. There's a great level line out. Crosstalk going to lead them up. But quickly, Oh President pounces up on the inside to challenge. Purple sector third, then came Lakeen from top ranked Ranch Hand, and Paternal's going to settle back last. Oh President's up, eyeballing Crosstalk for the lead, and Oh President holds the front for the time being and races about 3/4 in front to Crosstalk, but look at them go, they're completely busted the field open here. 6 lengths to Purple Sector, 3 lengths to Lakeen, 2 to top ranked, then Ranch Hand, and Paternal is the last one. So Oh President's gone very quickly to lead. And Clarke got out of that speed battle pretty promptly and now sits in the slipstream approaching the home corner. But the big question is, can this pair keep going? 600 metres to run. Oh President 2 in front, 2 Crosstalk, 3 further back to Purple Sector from Lakeen Ranch Hand. Top rank locked up on the fence and Paternal's last of all. Oh President swings in front. Crosstalk right in the slipstream, but now Clarke comes off heels to range up on the outside pretty swiftly. Purple Sector gets going. Top ranked is picking up between them. Then came Lakeen and Ranch Hand. Purple Sector, Crosstalk being challenged by the grey. Top ranked is going right through the middle, and top ranked moved up to take the lead away from Purple Sector, and then came Lakeen, but top ranked, the European stallion, draws clear for a great first up win, beating Purple Sector. Third between Crosstalk and Lakeen, a gap back to Ranch Hand. Then came Paternal, and Oh President finished a long last.
He did, and there'll be some thinking about where Oh President's at, but it's all about top rank. Look at the celebrations that are going on. He's a 7-year-old stallion, and that's not easy to keep a horse interested at 7 years of age. It's only his 3rd Australian run. Crosstalk was good.
It's just what the stable wanted.
Congratulations, Stu.
On down.
Good skills, mate.
Thank you.
Well, Chris, your 2 girls here, Wolverine and also Willinga Beast. I can't believe how much this girl came on.
To race number 6, the Darley T-Rose Stakes, 3rd leg of the Darley Princess Series.
Partners with our favourite Zougotcha, and she has 60% of the hold here, which is absolutely enormous and growing. That they just keep piling onto her here. She's into $1.90 from 210.
There it is now. Gates are back in the T-Rose. Zougotcha was second last out of the gates, and North Star Lass was first into stride. Willinga Beast jumped well, so did 7 Vows, and Zougotcha quickly up into 4th. In advance of Pantenario, followed by Ningaloo Star there at last of all. So Willinga Beast takes the lead now. North Star Lass up in a handy second from 7 Veils. Is racing pretty keenly on the outside of Pantenario, and Zougotcha in 5th, wedged between them. Then Grace's Secret on the outside of Renaissance Woman. Further back to Ningaloo Star from Madame Pomery. Wolverine and Byron Bell's been shuffled back to last now. 600 metres to run, and it's Willinga Beast just in front of North Star Lass, followed then by Pantenario. 7 Veils, 3 wide. The favourite Zougotcha is wedged between them as they straighten up now. Willinga Beast coming deep from North Star Lass, then Pantenario. Now Zougotcha is angling off heels. McDonald does so now. North Star Lass moved up to take the lead narrowly from Willinga Beast. Zougotcha. Madame Pomery running a big race on the outside. Many chances here. Madame Pomery moved up together with Zougotcha. Madame Pomery. Zougotcha is fighting hard. Zougotcha coming back. Zougotcha won the T-Rose, beat Madame Pomery. Wolverine rattling home into 3rd. Then North Star Lass, Renaissance Woman, Willinga Beast. Further back to Byron Bell with late headway. A gap then to Ningaloo Star from Grace's Secret. 7 Veils, 2 keen in the run, and Pantenario last.
So Walla Quinella, McDonald and Berry having a stoush up the straight. It was good stuff. James rode her oh so well. Well, he always seems to on anything, doesn't he? But She looked beaten, I thought, with 100 to go, just for one.
Back with a month between runs, so she did run the 1400 right out. That was a much better. She ran right to her looks there, didn't she, Madam Pomeroy? She's right back on track. I don't think Pomeroy. She's right back on track. I don't think they can beat this at the mile. Wolverine, stay on her back all the way through, but good filly.
Out of the T-Rose, these fillies heading towards the flight. Now, Zugotcha missed the Furious after winning the Silver Shadow and then goes now to the flight, unbeaten in this Princess Series.
She's pretty good, isn't she? She showed some desire here. I thought she was gone. When Madam Pomeroy just come up with momentum here, I know she'd been given a nice cosy run behind and should have had something to offer, but she did. I thought, no way she can fight back, and then, hello, within 2 strides.
Yeah, she pinned the ears back.
She's a good filly.
Tommy may have got there a little bit soon, and then it's funny with horses like that. If Tommy had to come out away from Jane, might have lied down, you know, but Madam Pomeroy, oh, mate, she's at the mile.
Yeah,
can't wait.
You can. I think she's a big improver too, but I'm all over Wolverine. When she gets to the mile, there'll be a lot more talk about her. Don't worry.
She turned into $3 in sequel. She goes to the Golden Rose, but she's still in the Flight Stakes officially. And then your horse running Wolverine $6. And Fireburn and She's Extreme, also Golden Rose bound.
Yeah, and so
that first up runner, it doesn't really change too much.
No, it doesn't change. Put an extra gallop in.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to gut you.
Race 7, Group 1 action, the Fujitsu General George Main Stakes worth $1 million, weight for age 1,600 metres. Here's our group favourite, Animo. There he is, number 3, James McDonald, about to jump on board for James Cummings.
Yeah, well, beautiful. So far, beautiful. That edge has been...
Yeah, it's good to see him. He's really relaxed down now. He's obviously gotten a little bit more mature, a bit older. He's parading really, really well.
About $1.60, and he has 70% of the market hold here, which is enormous and well warranted as well. So he's at that $1.60 quote. You would have got $2 when markets open, so even money if you don't mind. $1.55 about to Ace, 14 to 19. Converge at it.
The level.
Oh, looks wonderful, Bruce. And Animo is a headline act, and he deserves a huge crowd there. Animo.
Maximal, and Converge has been taken all the way back to last. So Hinge, she's got blinkers on today, and she's going to lead from the hot favourite Animo on a very forward roll. Profondo takes the set, leaders back third, and 2 lengths away to Montefiore. One as they start the run down the side, 900 metres to run, and Hinged is held together by Kieran McAvoy. Leads by 3/4 to Animo. Profondo tucked away third, followed by Montefiore. Then Fangirl, 3 back the rails from Ice Bath, further back to Maximal, then came Duis. And Converge is still back last. So Hinge leads, approaching the 600 metres by 3/4 to Animo. McDonald allowing to slide a little bit closer, coming to the turn from Profondo. Montefiore is easing out deep. Ice Bath as well. And Fangirl's coming well off the fence as they straighten. And Hinge, 400 metres to run, leads the way from Animo. Profondo the inside. Ice Bath winding up with Montefiore. And then came Fangirl. Animo races to the lead at the 250. Animo just in front from Ice Bath, beating off Hinge. Then came Fangirl, but Animo. Up goes Animo on the George Main Stakes, breaking clear. And there's 5 Group 1s. Animo went on to beat Ice Bath. Hinged in third, Montefiore fourth. Then came Fangirl. Further back to Duis, Profondo, Maximal, and Converge was the last one to finish.
So 5 Group 1s. The first Godolphin horse in this country to win 5 Group 1s. He does, I know he's different, but I get the So You Think feelings about him as a 4-year-old, how good So You Think was. It wasn't a massive margin, but it was dominant. I thought it was a magnificent ride. I mean, he just absolved him perfectly. Ice Bath gets a 5th Group 1 placing, believe it or not. Hinge good, Montefiore. Question marks about Profondo, maybe a couple of the others. He is an absolutely outstanding horse.
I just focusing on
winning the George Main Stakes. He went into this race the winner of 4 Group 1s, plus placings in a Golden Slipper and also a Cox Plate. This is his 5th Group 1 win in the George Main.
Yeah, and what can you say? He's a legitimate... Well, I think he's on his way to being a champion. He had to be ridden like that yesterday. It's not his style, sitting outside the lead, but something had to do it.
Yep.
And it might as well be the $1.60 favourite rather than taking, hoping for luck going back. Like he just surges here, doesn't he?
Oh, this horse, I can't wait to see the day that he just gets everything to fall into place, like the race to run to suit, sitting 3, maybe 4 pairs back, because he's a chase horse. You can see that, Ronnie. Like
But how good's that mare, Ice Bath? She is.
You love to have a stable full of them.
She's a terrific miler.
Yeah.
And probably comes right into, well, Epsom calculations now.
What's she carry?
Her 5th Group 1 placing.
5th.
5th.
Wow.
Yep.
And you could tick.
Yep.
And you could tick them all off here. Hinged rallied hard right in the Epsom as well. Fangirl ticking along beautifully for a peak performance. Montefilia was great as far as the Cup's concerned. I thought Jewess was good enough. Couple of worrying things there, maybe Converge.
Yeah.
And Profondo, but I think we can judge them once we get back on a dry track.
Yeah, and Converge.
Is the future of Animo up in the air? Now, he's pulled up 3 out of 5 lame. James McDonald took a long while to bring this horse back at the walk.
There, yeah, that's the only
pulled him out of it.
Yeah, you're straight back into a walk, because that was the only time that he actually showed that he was lame. It's different when you're up on him; you can actually feel it.
You can see he just has a bit of a
favour in the
lame,
near side front.
Going to that trot. That trot. So, yeah.
So officially 3 out of 5 lame. They're saying in the off-4 leg.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they'll leave it.
And they haven't quite got to him. They'll just go right over him, but they'll give him the best of care, and his health will come first. But the good news is so far he's improved a lot on that initial assessment that was published last night by the stewards.
Okay, so the stewards say a 3 out of 5 lame. James suggesting there he may be just 1 out of 5, an improvement there this morning.
Yeah, but what have they?
Looking at him walking around the enclosure, Ronnie, I'd be expecting that they will be. I've never really seen him that far forward. I know there's probably a little bit of residual fitness from the trip over. Mate, he's looking an absolute treat.
Normally, Ronnie, this run is his following him around, his arch rival. This is the 11th time they have met in a race. Here's Eduardo, Joe Pride and Brenton Avdulla.
Well, he's the little giant killer. He's got the run under his belt, a race fitness edge. He'll be there to cap.
For Tabcorp, lost and running Bowman and O'Shea.
Well, one thing's for sure, he'll run better than he did leading into his first up assignment in his first Reverend's preparation. So he's
Cliche to do it, Bruce, but it's got to be Nature Strip. He is easing by a touch now. He's at about 240 in the betting, out from 220 when he opened, but he's got 60% of...
Nature Strip, Lizzie. This is the 11th time they've clashed. It's Oakley Plate was the first time. It was a different world for both of them. A different trainer for Eduardo, I think.
They've led here with Nature Strip, $2.30 favourite for the shorts. We mightn't have enough material to make a pair, Greg.
He looks
and watch this.
A month out from the Tab Everest. This is the $1 million shorts. In 2 weeks, another lead up the Premier.
Stand by for a start. Gates are back, they're off. Nature Strip jumped out fairly. Eduardo was first into stride. Overpass was quickly out up on the outside. And Athelric goes to third. Nature Strip is slowly improving on the inside of Marzu. Lost and running midfield. Andermatt out deep, followed by Handle the Truth. Masked Crusaders right off the track from Rocketing by Shelby 66. Classique Legend and Anathol's last of all. Eduardo's got the lead all on his own here at the 600 metres in the hands of Brenton Avdulla. Leads by a length to Overpass. Nature Strip railing through, gets to third. Marzu without cover. Lost and running deeper out. Then came Athelric. Handle the Truth. Rocketing by Andermatt. Shelby 66 taking rails runs. Classique Legend second last. Eduardo comes up the rise. 2 lengths clear from Nature Strip, stalking him. Then came Overpass. Lost and running to the outside, making ground. Eduardo in front, but Nature Strip getting on terms now. Here comes the chant. Nature Strip taking the lead from Eduardo, clear from Lost and Running, and Nature Strip back on target to defend his Everest title. Nature Strip beat Lost and Running Overpass. They beat off Eduardo. Then Masked Crusader from Marzu. Further back to Anathol. Rocketing by from Andermatt. Handle the Truth, Shelby 66 and Classique Legend.
So he gets to 19 million. He's won 9 Group 1s. That wasn't a Group 1. It felt like one. It felt like a big Group 1. He was stunning today. He's improved, Lizzie. He's improved. He's an 8-year-old. Royal Ascot, he was dominant against many of the world's best sprinters, one from the United States and the Europeans. He was dominant here today, and Eduardo, I thought, had the race run as he would have wished. And
Here, he should get a slot, I reckon. Overpass. He might just get a slot up. He's forward hard. A great return from Lost and Running. He's right in this Everest. Eduardo did his thing. He raced well. Big tick off from Marzu and Mars Crusader. It was just doing his best work late. The one we've got to worry about now is Classic Legend, who runs last here. We'll just have to see how.
And he just gives you goosebumps.
Yeah, he sure does. And today he displayed that he's got ringcraft now, and just to switch off and do those little things right, I think can help him be better. So expect, to tell you the truth, we didn't expect it would be this good. I expected there to be a bit of downtime required, and his coat might change, and it's a big thing. But it was just...
The horse winning the shorts. He's the short price favourite to win the Tab Everest and go back-to-back. This was his lead-up run. He now waits a month until the Tab Everest. Nature Strip winning the shorts.
Yeah, what a return. Brilliant. Everything went well for him. He just cruises. He customary when he gets just before the turn there, that's when he grabs the bit and wants to charge, and that's been winning moves for him in the past. But he waited a little bit longer this time, just stalking Eddie there, Corey. And
it's hard to say that he's gotten better, but I honestly think he has. Yeah, like watching that gallop at Rose Hill the other day by himself, well, I think yesterday he was a little bit more forward than what he normally is at 100% that stage of the preparation.
This thing about Chris Waller, and you've ridden Group 1 wins for Chris Waller, what he gets out of his horses over a long career, this longevity that he puts into these horses.
What I find amazing about Chris's training is he gets a horse to a level, but holds it at that level for so long.
Seasons.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really is.
Because he doesn't... He rarely backs them up. He rarely over-races them. With good horses, he will some cope with it better than others. But he was... Don't put yourself in a false sense of security here. He is not unbeatable in this Everest. Everything went perfect for him yesterday. And a couple of those horses resuming were unbelievable.
Well, let's get to those in a minute. Now, also, Classic Legend, as you saw in that race, ran last. He was vetted straight after the event and was found also to be 3 out of 5 lame in the, well, they said the near at the back of his knee were perfect. Now, he's had a suspensory problem. Les thinks he knows how to fix him, but he can only do that giving him more time off. He can't press on, he's now spelled.
Yeah, apparently he's got a little splint as well.
Well, let's go back and have a look at the rest of them, because there's a number of horses here to talk about. As you rightly point out, Ronnie, this Everest is far from over.
He won the lottery here. Look at him miss the start again. Lucky he had them slow horses drawn either side of him there, and that's why come Everest Day when there's more pressure on him, he's got a couple of fast. If he does that, they're going to give him the short back and sides.
Yep, without a doubt.
Okay, Lost and Running. The run itself, forgetting about what Bowman did.
Huge run.
Wide no cover, huge upside, not a first up. You know he's a horse that'll get better with a run or two. If I was having a bet in the Everest at the price, he's the one I'd back.
Okay.
Honestly, I think he is humming.
Yep. Marzu.
Humming.
Yep.
Marzu.
Terrific, over-raced, wide no cover as well. Yep. Him and Lost and Running was 3 and 4 wide no cover.
Yeah.
I know it's not as big a thing. Well, I won't say hidden run was Mars Crusader.
Yeah, he was doing his normal things.
He wasn't ready at all. That's the typical, hello, we're on target.
Yeah.
One more run.
Dry track, more pressure.
Yeah.
More pressure in the Everest than that.
Yeah.
And then he's coming right into play, $17 chance.
Okay, just look, on this market, this is what happened yesterday. Nature Strip, 280 into 210. Lost and Running, 11 into 7. Eduardo, I'll come back to him, 8 out to 13. Overpass, 13 in from 26. Mars Crusader, 17 out from 15.
Wrong.
Pulele.
Sandown, that was some performance. The tempo was steady. He got into good rhythm, and he was electric. He really was. It was a brilliant win. Back to 1200, obviously didn't suit. He might have had his chance, but ridden a bit warmer in a race where there was...
One of those times you wish you weren't right and you wish the radar had pushed it elsewhere. The rain that had hit Ballarat an hour ago is descending upon Caulfield. It is shit.
Afcabin should be the marked favourite, and is a firm favourite here. Was blistering performance.
I've gone with the 2 on top here in Aft Cabin. I just felt like it was a better parade from him today. Physically, he's
behind the rain. Aft Cabin is still our short price favourite here. He is really firm in betting, as we would expect with the dominance that we've seen from this horse in the past. And at $2.25, he will start our favourite Aft Cabin from barrier 6. Now, I mentioned a couple of horses.
So the field is now locked away. An extraordinary running of the Caulfield Guineas Prelude. Gates are back and they're away and racing. And Ozopenko was one of the best to begin in the early strides, and also Aft Cabin was away cleanly. Zambagini is showing speed as well. Zambagini is the leader. Aft Cabin wider. Lethal Thoughts behind those horses. Japanese Emperor's to Juggernaut. Second last in the race, Amenable, and Black Samurai is at the end of the field. In extraordinary conditions, they race to the railway side. With 800 metres to go, the leader is Zambagini from Aft Cabin, who's about a length away. Ozopenko third the inside. Japanese Emperor is fourth one off the fence, and then came out wider Berardino, Lethal Thoughts. Then came Sir Juggernaut the inside. Meridius gets going, push Sir Bailey out wider. Amenable is second last, and Black Samurai is at the end of the field. Wouldn't like the dry cleaning build coming around the turn. 350 metres to go, and it's Zambagini, 3/4 now a half, and Aft Cabin strides up on the outside now, comes around the corner at the 250 and exploded away. Aft Cabin 3 lengths Zambagini, a gap Meridius down the outside, and behind those horses Berardino and Sir Bailey, but it's all Aft Cabin at 1400 metres is going to stride in this colt, and as they reach the line, it's Aft Cabin winning it well. 4 lengths Meridius, Amenable, Sir Bailey, Berardino, Zambagini. Well back in the field then was Ozopenko, Black Samurai, Lethal Thoughts. Towards the end of the field, Japanese Emperor, and last of all Sir Juggernaut.
Well, they aquaplaned through the Ned Caulfield Guineas Prelude. Aft Cabin shows his class, took Zambagini on the turn and was never going to be caught thereafter. So Godolphin have got as good a chance as any stable we've seen in recent years to go back-to-back in the Caulfield Guineas. Animo last year, they go in with the #1 seed in Aft Cabin, who bounced back. We've got a contender by the looks of it as well, outside of Jacquino, because Amenable looked to be the best of the closers. Meridius pretty good in between the two of them.
Before the next couple of races, otherwise the boys won't be too happy. But typical Melbourne day, now the sun starts to come out. I guess, you know, if you don't like the weather in Melbourne, just wait a minute, it'll change.
So the time there of one Guineas Prelude for the boys. So this was race 4 on the program, and the heavens just opened. It was just furious the way this weather descended in the minutes leading into the race, and it was literally the 100 seconds of the race where it was at its wettest. And to put it in context, Aft Cabin's victory was 18 lengths or 2.92 seconds slower, Hutch, than the 1400 metre benchmark 91 40 minutes earlier.
Yeah, I mean, what could you say? I mean, Matt Hill probably couldn't. I mean, I think he mentioned pre-race.
It now comes around the corner at the 250 and exploded away. Aft Cabin 3 lengths Zambagini, a gap Meridius down the outside, and behind those horses Berardino and Sir Bailey, but it's all Aft Cabin at 1400 metres is going to stride in this colt, and as they reach the line, it's Aft Cabin winning it well. 4 lengths Meridius, Amenable, Sir Bailey, Berardino, Zambagini. Well back in the field then was Ozopenko, Black Samurai, Lethal Thoughts.
Rain, hail or shine, he's the genuine article, and Michael, you're probably the best placed person to assess it because you've had Jacquino beat him at 12 in the McNeil, and you had Amenable, I think, be the only horse to get home and break 13 of all things for the last 200 yesterday. He's the horse to beat in the Guineas.
He's a proper horse, and this stallion astern, I can picture him winning the Golden Rose, eased up J-Mac, and I've been waiting for him to fire some bullets, and he's got Aft Cabin, Golden Mile and Brigantine on a Golden Eagle path, so he's going fantastic. But the winner was brilliant. A real set play by the team to bring him back to 1200 on that Guineas path. Was always going to be a query.
Additions of the day as well. So Meridius is pretty good for Lloyd Kennewell. They're going to push on to a Guineas, and Amenable hadn't had the most straightforward path into the bill.
We've got 3 weeks now to the Guineas. He was a good run. He's already ridden back, so he was entitled to run on, but he was very strong late, and it'll be a hard form race to work out.
It's really nice and relaxed in the yard.
5 fillies have won the Prelude and gone on to complete the 1,000 Guineas double from 44 attempts. Irish Lights and Miss Finland amongst them in recent years. Hutch, your top 4 for the delayed, but now we're here with it, the 1,000 Guineas Prelude.
Yeah, this is my best of the day. She's looking.
By the rain coming down, perplexed as to why they're waiting and not really sure where to look. It's $5 the field. Your market mover will be She's Lickety Split. Best back there, $4.40 into $3.80.
who can run really well here. Benny Mellum draws a low gate, and Dean Lester likes as well. Ritchie thinks that the New Zealand form will hold up with She's Lickety Split. 1,000 Guineas Split, 1,000 Guineas Prelude, Group 2 race, $300,000 up for grabs.
And they're racing. Presenia March away, okay. Vagrant's going back to third last. No speed, Sumatra Love Nest. Beginning well, Celestial Spirit on the outside will just lead Denied after a few strides. And then came Miss Hellfire, Charlie and Mumbai Jewel, a length and a half. Vagrant, Boogie Dancer. Next in the field, Hope at Hand, Love Nest and Sumatra at the end of the field. Celestial Spirit led from Miss Hellfire as they reach the 800 marker. No Luck, She's Lickety Split is 3 wide, posted a length and a half off the pace. Presenia March keeping her out there. Denied 5th the inside from Bonheur. They were followed by Call Sign Charlie, Mumbai Jewel, Vagrant. Well back in the field then is Hope at Hand, who's niggled at very early. Not handling the conditions from Boogie Dancer, Love Nest and Sumatra. Celestial Spirit took it up cleanly. Coming up towards the corner at the 450, a length Miss Hellfire. She's Lickety Split. Despite being wide, runs towards the middle of the track and is coming on. They were followed then by Presenia March, Bonheur, Mumbai Jewel and Boogie Dancer brought to the middle and is coming home hard. Boogie Dancer takes the lead, 200 to go. Kick clear, 2 lengths in front of a wall. Bonheur, Mumbai Jewel, She's Lickety Split and Sumatra late, but it's all Boogie Dancer careering away, and Boogie Dancer won it easily. 3 lengths Sumatra, She's Lickety Split, then Bonheur, and behind them then was Mumbai Jewel, Celestial Spirit, Presenia March, a gap, Vagrant, Hope at Hand, Miss Hellfire, Love Nest, Call Sign Charlie, and Denied was at the back.
Peter Moody's got himself not 1 but 2 genuine 1,000 Guineas contenders. Waltz on by took care of the maiden a couple of Wednesday on the Underwood Stakes program. And Boogie Dancer, Brent Sarava hit the nail on the head pre-race. 14 back to 12 was pretty much the winning formula for Aft Cabin coming out of the Sandown midweek meeting to win this race. The Guineas Prelude, sorry, for the boys coming off the McNeil. Well, that was the setup for Boogie Dancer. She won the Vobus Gold Ingot here.
Pushed back a portion. This was run about 26 minutes later than scheduled. Boogie Dancer from draw 13, Luke Nolan took it to the back half of the field. So this filly, she won the Vobus Gold Ingot at Caulfield over the 14, defeating Berkeley Square. That form gets better and better. That was in late July, 7 weeks into the Atlantic Jewel, back to 1200. So a very similar preparation to that of Aft Cabin in terms of going 14, 12 and then back to the 14. 0.04 of a second faster than the boys, and her 4-2 split really put the race to bed, Hutch.
Yeah, I think the way the race was run as well, I mean, the principles, Boogie Dancer's well back, that Luke rode with confidence. I like this ride, and he was happy just to take his time on a real wet tracker. Mind the run from She's Lickety Split. They went to go forward, couldn't find the right spot. I'm not worried about being wide because I think it was a better ground out there, but just probably had to work a little bit, and you can see of all those that...
Mumbai Jewel and Boogie Dancer brought to the middle and is coming home hard. Boogie Dancer takes the lead, 200 to go. Kick clear, 2 lengths in front of a wall. Bonheur, Mumbai Jewel, She's Lickety Split and Sumatra late, but it's all Boogie Dancer careering away, and Boogie Dancer won it easily. 3 lengths Sumatra, She's Lickety Split, then Bonheur, and behind them then was Mumbai Jewel, Celestial.
It's a great win for Wally Dalziel and his crew. You know them well, Mytho. Obviously, you've shared success for the likes.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. And yesterday we potentially saw 1 or 2 leading candidates. Boogie Dancer was $13 into 8 on the back of that victory. Now the number 3 seed from a betting perspective, but...
Look, I think it is up for grabs in terms of my numbers. I thought Emissary, I like the first start win, could win again. Uncle Bryn, Shiraz Earlswood, wouldn't be surprised if any one of them won.
Yeah, initially seen from him this campaign, he goes on top. The stablemate looked outstanding, Gold Trip, no knock on him. And this was $3.30. He's out to $3.60 now. But certainly that is still, damage was done from $6 earlier in betting. Now, I just have to mention a couple that have really trimmed up in the last 10 minutes. Number 13, Smoke and Romans, $10 into $7. The bulk of that.
Million. Blue on the inside. Earlswood's midfield 3 wide, looking to improve. Chapada's on its back at the moment. Then Crystal Pegasus, Luna Flare, and Shiraz's last as they climb at the 1,500 metres. Elephant, the front runner, as it likes, as they run off the back section. 1,000 metres to go by 3/4 of a length. Smoke and Romans. 2 further back, the Amazonian. 3rd along the inside as they run to the railway side of the course. Gold Trip with Every Hope, and then came Earlswood 5th, 3 deep around in the centre. Emissary away, and the inside Uncle Bryn, no change in the order at the moment. A length away Chapada, Midnight Blue, and then Deshaun Sweet Jr. just losing its pitch fractionally from Luna Flare, Shiraz, Crystal Pegasus. Tightly packed, Elephant has stacked them up here. 600 metres to go. It's Elephant by a half length, Smoke and Romans, and then came Uncle Bryn the inside. Now Gold Trip moves out 3 wide, 3/4 of a length off the lead. Elephant's left the fence, so Uncle Bryn's got a run. 4 across the track around the corner at the 400 metres, and then came the Amazonian. Emissary to the outside, Midnight Blue back to the fence, and behind those horses Chapada, it's Uncle Bryn driving through at the 250, and Smoke and Romans, then Gold Trip 3/4 of a length off them. Smoke and Romans, Uncle Bryn at the 150, Gold Trip and Chapada late the outside. It's in the middle, Smoke and Romans and Uncle Bryn. Smoke and Romans the stronger and wins it. Smoke and Romans from Uncle Bryn. Chapada has just missed third from Gold Trip. I'd say Gold Trip just nailed it. Chapada fourth, and then came Emissary, Deshaun Sweet Jr., Shiraz, Midnight Blue, Luna Flare. Behind those, the Amazonian, Elephant, Crystal Pegasus, and at the end, Earlswood.
Kieran Maher becomes the first man alongside Dave Eustace to win this race 3 times as a trainer. He's done it in very quick succession, and he's got Smoke and Smoke and Romans, last year's Pakenham Cup winner, in to the Carlton Draft Caulfield Cup with victory in the MRC Foundation Cup. A super performance.
They just continue to find a way with these stayers, Hutch. The minute you doubt them, they prove you wrong. Not that there was any doubting. Smoke and Romans coming in third up, had been pretty good behind the Stableman Kane at the previous run. Pakenham Cup winner last year and has 50 kilos in the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, it's with the right stable probably as far as those targets are set as well. Look, it ranked 7th with daily sectionals. I think in terms of how the race has run, he had his right set up yesterday. They went forward, that's the first. But it made it harder, I think, for those horses back in the field, even though when you've got a pattern, if they go this steady in front, it makes it difficult to make ground. But Smoke and...
Gold Trip, I'd say.
So Uncle Bryn second, Gold Trip, the stablemate to Smoke and Romans, who had the 60 and had to give them all weight, was pretty good considering the preparations had a little bit of disruption. He's likely to go to the Turnbull, which was great insight from Kieran post-race, and 57.5 in a Caulfield Cup. Given the depth of the race this year, I would have thought he's a contender if they want to go there.
Yeah, definitely.
17 minutes away from the Group 1 feature of the day, the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes, and there has been so much discussion about this event and the market, and there are still sparks flying, only about 15 minutes out now, which is a fascinating situation. We have a new favourite, and it is number 15, Tuvalu. He is coming off a fresh, and we last saw him racing through the winter. We know that this horse is a winner. Scratchings and key scratchings this morning. So we've got a $4.60 favourite. Narrowly.
He's including 2 key chances. Dragon Leap and I Wish I Win are not here. Clint Hutchison, your numbers for the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough sort of event. Obviously, Ayrton's come out. I think showmanship is just a winner. The ground shouldn't be an issue.
As well, this horse is extremely well placed. Tuvalu should be quite hard to beat, and that showmanship.
Showmanship on top for me too. I just love his attitude on race day. He just wanders around the yard on a nice loose rein, and he's just at home.
It is all about the new favourite here, Tuvalu, who has been absolutely off the map in the past 15 minutes. $4.60 when I last spoke to you. Since then, he got into $3.80 and is still at around that price at the moment. It is a really big go for Tuvalu in the past 15 minutes. A lot to like about him. Barrier 11 goes forward, loves wet tracks. Has got that heavy track win to his name. Now, showmanship as a result.
And they're racing. Graceful Girl was slow from the inside, missed it a beat. Shalo's going back with also Banker's Choice. Beginning well, Azar. Tuvalu fires out. Red Can Man showing pace. Call Sign Mav and Laws of Indices. And Buffalo River on the improved 4th or 5th. And then came Just Folk, Dalasan. And then came out wider Halal from I Am Superman. Graceful Girl, Showmanship. Second last, Banker's Choice. And at the end is Shalo to the side of the course at the 1,000. The leader, Tuvalu, pressured by Buffalo River. Then Red Can Man, a length and a half off those from Laws of Indices, who's fourth the inside of Call Sign Mav. Next in the field at the 750 is Azar, spotting the lead 5. 2 further back, Halal, Just Folk, and then came Dalasan, I Am Superman, Graceful Girl. Well back, Showmanship, Banker's Choice, and Shalo is last. Buffalo River, 550 metres to go as it loves to do. Gets out and runs and leads by a length and a quarter. Tuvalu, Red Can Man. Then came Call Sign Sign Mav, and behind them Laws of Indices as the field come to the middle of the course. Then Azar Just Folk, Showmanship cuts the corner. Then I Am Superman and Banker's Choice is the widest. Buffalo River joined by Tuvalu. 200 metres to go. It's Tuvalu just in front. Here's Call Sign Mav on the outside, running on with I Am Superman, and then Buffalo River. Call Sign Mav up to Tuvalu. I Am Superman chasing both of them. Call Sign Mav just in front and won it. Call Sign Mav from I Am Superman, and third was Tuvalu. Dalasan prominent for fourth with Laws of Indices. Then came Buffalo River. Next to finish Just Folk, Dalasan, Azar. Then came Showmanship, Shalo. Well back in the field was out wider on the course, pulling up quickly Banker's Choice with Halal and Graceful Girl.
It's a Group 1 win for one of racing's good guys, Jamie Mott. No one works harder right across Victoria, and he rides at a weight that is far south of what his walking around weight should be. He's now got himself a richly deserved Group 1, and what super placement from Danny O'Brien with Call Sign Mav. Tuvalu, I Am Superman in the placings. We'll be back with all the fallout from this, and delivered him an Australian Group 1.
Yeah, look, he's a three-time Group 1 winner in New Zealand, so he's done it at the top level over there, and he's been in Cox Plates and All-Star Miles and that here. So just a little bit softer conditions today and a little bit softer race, and he's a tough racehorse, this horse. He's won plenty of races, so great to see him a Group 1 winner in Australia as well. Hard over such a long period of time with his weight. If Jamie was 4 or 5 kilos lighter, he'd be a top 3 Metropolitan jockey, but he rides as well as anyone, and he's going to be a very popular victor here today. There's so many people that have got so much admiration for Jamie.
Two-parter to finish before we let you go and enjoy the celebrations. The two West Australians caught back.
Jamie Mott's maiden Group 1 success today aboard Call Sign Mav in the $1 million for Rupert Clarke Stakes over the 1,400 metres. As we know, by this stage of the program, we're on a heavy 8 hutch, and that was going to play into the hands of the 3-time New Zealand Group 1 winner, and probably one of the interesting things about the profile of this race in recent years is 4 of the last 8 have come via the Memsey, and Call Sign Mav is the third in the last 5 winners to be right near the top of the weights.
Yeah, interesting from that point of view. The conditions obviously a big factor there, but the race was interesting. Ranked number 1 by dailysectionals.com.au, but Buffalo River missing a kick. Tuvalu looked like he was going to get it on his terms, then he didn't, but Call Sign Mav, well, look, this was a lovely ride from Jamie, as we know now. He sort of got into a sweet spot probably on the track at this point of the race. He got the tempo to suit, but gee, was tough late. Let's take in the call from Matty Hill.
The lead 5, 2 corner. Then I Am Superman and Banker's Choice is the widest. Buffalo River joined by Tuvalu. 200 metres to go. It's Tuvalu just in front. Here's Call Sign Mav on the outside, running on with I Am Superman, and then Buffalo River. Call Sign Mav up to Tuvalu. I Am Superman chasing both of them. Call Sign Mav just in front and won it. Call Sign Mav from I Am Superman, and third was Tuvalu. Dalasan prominent for fourth with Laws of Indices.
Trainer Danny O'Brien's 23rd success at the highest level, as mentioned, the first, a breakthrough for Jamie Mott, and he joins us
and celebrated hard. Was there a moment during the race where you thought this is actually going to happen?
Yes, definitely. I got to the 600 and started to come off the bridle, and I was a little concerned, but he does take a little bit of riding, Call Sign Mav, and when I straightened, he sort of balanced and changed stride, and I had Tuvalu sort of in his focus to chase down, which I was really confident I was going to get him. So basically from the furlong, I was like, yeah, this is the moment. This is going to happen. It's happened.
Track, obviously, it was being really chopped away on the day, but it was presented beautifully by Tim Bailey yesterday. And as Michael mentioned earlier, they were getting out into that bit cleaner ground out wide, and he certainly found that I Am Superman. Tuvalu was brave. There was a lot of forgive runs in the race.
Yeah, he was massive, the winner. Obviously won a Tarzino Group 1 trophy in New Zealand, first up on a heavy track, so he was the best wet tracker who was fit out of a good form race. I thought the run of the race was Tuvalu. First up was a huge run. I mean, his form profile, I think he's first or second every other run, been beaten by Thunderstruck twice last prep. And on a day where he had to be fit, first up on the speed, he was huge yesterday.
He looks the obvious Toorak horse out of the race, doesn't he? Which the Rupert Clarke Toorak, as a link and a form reference the last 10 or so years, has been rock solid.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I think you know, he's sort of just got that little... Big positive, he's drawn the gate. The map, you'll have to like this horse. The form, you have to like this horse. And many punters will be this Muramasa, I thought could go well. Tier 1 is the obvious, should be hard to beat outside of that.
When he stepped out fresh up and, look, he didn't fire, and I just wanted to watch him last start, despite the fact that I thought...
Okay, so clearly Tijuana is the top pick and elect with punters here on your Sportsbet app. He had their measure in the Exford over the 1400 at Flemington last start, and the market suggesting he's the one to beat again here, stepping up to the mile, as most of these are. He's Heaven will roll.
Set to gallop. Fourth event, the Stutt Stakes at Group 2, and they're racing. A Virtuous Circle had to be rousted forward to get motivated. Goes back to a clear last. Ringmaster Tijuana began speedily with Poison Chalice, and He's Heaven from that outside gate is also searching forward. Tijuana looks for the box seat. Poison Chalice third the outside. Virtuous Circle second last, and Fairy Spirit whipped them in to the side of the course now. Through halfway at the 800 metres. He's Heaven slackened it, led by 3/4 of a length to a length Tijuana. Then came Poison Chalice, a length and a half off those third. Then Ringmaster Fujita San easing out 3 deep. Let's Roll the Dice next the paint. Then came Muramasa, Virtuous Circle, and Fairy Spirit getting going from the back. He's Heaven clutters them up. 500 metres to go, 3/4 Tijuana. Poison Chalice under heavy pressure. Fujita San around the outside, runs on from Ringmaster, and Virtuous Circle's picking up ground. The paint, Tijuana. Let's Rip on the outside of He's Heaven now at the 250 and claims the front. Tijuana and neck, a half He's Heaven, Fujita San, Ringmaster, Virtuous Circle. Tijuana goes for home, sprints up at the 100. Fujita San the outside, still a length and a half away from Virtuous Circle. Tijuana in front, holding on, the favourite to win the start. Tijuana's won it from Fujita San, Virtuous Circle. Then He's Heaven. Next, Let's Roll the Dice. Behind them, Ringmaster, Muramasa, Poison Chalice. A long last was Fairy Spirit.
There he is, Tijuana, an excellent performance there under the guidance of Mark Zara. Jane gave him a solid push from the yard. We spoke to Ben Hayes before.
We're going to have a look now at the 3-year-old feature on Friday night. The Stutt Stakes, of course, typical lead-up into the Guineas and Tijuana. With the change of tactics, the notification that the horse was going to be ridden more forward. It was an excellent steer from Mark Zara. So he'll try and become the 11th to complete the Stutt and Guineas double. The last was Who Begot You back in 2008. And certainly came out of the right races. But I think that was the big key. Let's take the...
Yeah, it certainly does. Like, I think the ride won the race. He took advantage, Mark Zara, from a low barrier, put the horse forward. Luke Nolan set a very fast speed on the leader and just back in the field being able to finish off. The other one was Let's Roll a Dice. I think this horse was in a little bit of a tight situation on the home bend, couldn't get a lot of room. I think back to a bigger track, over a little bit further, I think this horse can play a part in some race going forward.
So...
The spotlight shines on the Valley as the elite speedsters scorch the turf in the AJ Moir Stakes. A Cox Plate Day staple from 76 to 2011, the new Moir now stands proud in September, launching the night racing season. Since Scamander saluted in 76.
Well, he was terrific, winning the McEwen in Rothfire, and I tell you what, punters absolutely love him. His gallop out was nice and strong. He stays at this track and trip, but he meets Paul Lally. These two absolutely dominate the market. Coolangatta's had good support. So here we go, Rothfire. Let's have a look, because when he... Donald, Coolangatta the filly, she draws barrier 1. She needs to keep that gate, you would imagine, with the lightweight of 50 kilos. $10 went up. Punters said, thank you, that's too big for her. Crack second up at this level, $6.
I'm with Rothfire. I thought this was the best of the night. I'm not put off with what I've seen in the track. Hopefully he can find a nice spot, and there'll be plenty of speed here, and I thought...
Rothfire on top for me too. I really liked his parade. As I said, he's a sprinter with a lot of athleticism, but certainly strong enough to be footing it with these horses. I thought that the team have done an
favourite Rothfire tightens up into $3.60, and clearly the best back late, although there's not much between him and also Paul Lally in terms of turnover on the books, but the most...
1,000 metres, gates are back and racing. Isotope out the back with Extremely Lucky. Rothfire out quickly with Zeus Style. Paul Lally Peeds out of the fray, and driving through is Coolangatta to lead them. Coolangatta after 200 metres led Zeus Style Generation. They were followed by Rothfire, the outside of Malkovich. 2 further back, Paul Lally and Bellanipatina. Then came Maliva, the Inferno, Isotope, and September Run, and 3 lengths Extremely Lucky. Zeus Style pressures Coolangatta through the gap. 500 200 metres to go from Generation behind them. They were followed by Rothfire, and Balanipatina tried to keep him in, but he's 3 wide. Rothfire from Balanipatina, and then Paul Laley stoking up from Maleva, and behind those horses Malkovich. Cool and Gatter around the corner. 200 metres to go. The filly led by 2 lengths. Balanipatina, Zoo Style, and then Rothfire. Cool and Gatter. 100 metres to go. Balanipatina wearing it down. Cool and Gatter a neck. Balanipatina's going to get close. Cool and Gatter has just won from Balanipatina. Photo third. Zoo Style or Generation, then Rothfire, Paul Laley. A Gap September run, Maleva, Isotope, and then came Malkovich, the Inferno, and Extremely Lucky at the tail of the field.
Well, Coolangatta gets her Group 1 and gets it in the Moir Stakes. A brilliant front-running ride by Jamie Carr. She wasn't letting anyone take that pole position. She utilised her every step of the way. The fast-finishing Bella Nipotina. We'll have to look time and time again at Rothfire and how he didn't get an opportunity to get a crack at them at the top.
And into Kieran Maher, big result for the race for the Maher Eustace team. 1-2 in the run. And, yeah, another leader, another winner. We have to say it. Jamie found the front. She didn't want to relinquish that spot. They were right.
Time again before. Probably a little bit questionable how she returned, but to see her return and now get that Group 1 win on the board, I'm sure the team would be very satisfied. And James Safaris is catching.
By Rothfire, and Balanipatina's tried to keep him in, but he's 3 wide. Rothfire from Balanipatina, and then Paul Laley stoking up from Maleva, and behind those horses Malkovich. Cool and Gatter around the corner. 200 metres to go. The filly led by 2 lengths. Balanipatina, Zoo Style, and then Rothfire. Cool and Gatter. 100 metres to go. Balanipatina wearing it down. Cool and Gatter a neck. Balanipatina's going to get close. Cool and Gatter has just won from Balanipatina. Photo third. Zoo Style or Generation, then Rothfire.
So a super effort there from Cool and Gatter. It's worthy limits to have. 3 of the first 4 over the line for Maher Eustace. Generation was pretty good in behind. We laud them on a daily and weekly basis, and rightly so, given what they're producing with horses at any age, at any distance. But that was a pretty amazing feather in their cap Friday night. I thought that they've got a 3-year-old filly to win a Group 1 weight for age sprint, but then had 2nd and 4th in behind.
Yeah, I think we probably get a week out and we go, oh, well, that's just what they do. But to do that, have those horses hit the wire like that at Group 1 level is outstanding. Generation was great in behind. He just had to give up his spot, was always without room and nowhere to build momentum. Zoo Style, great from wide, did plenty of work with Damien Oliver, got into a nice spot outside the leader. And Rothfire, take nothing away from him, he was gallant in defeat.
I thought Paul Laley's last 50, 70 metres was really strong as well. Just when they quickened, he couldn't quite go with them, but gee, sets up for a 1,200 metre performance from him next, and maybe it's the Godolphin entry into the Everest for Paul Laley.
Well, just given the pattern of the night, the 2 runs of the race, Balanipatina wide against the pattern, terrific, and Paul Laley very good late. So they're the 2 that I think you take forward to a race like a Manicato, if that's where they're heading.
September run there. All right, Kiss on All 4 Cheeks in the last race. Here comes up your favourite, decimated with scratchings earlier this morning, this race, the mare's race, but she was terrific, winning the Let's Elope last start. Her second up, sports bet. $7 into $6, Daisies. Moonee Valley form there. Gate 1, she'll be stalking them and will need to get into the race.
Set to go for the Group 2 Stock Stakes. Set and away they go. And Foxy Frida from barrier number 3 was moderately away. Kiss on All 4 Cheeks jumps well with Lady of Honour. First 200 metres interesting here. Lady of Honour using plenty of the track, striding out to lead. Kiss on All 4 Elusive Express and 2 lengths to Daisies. They swing towards the side of the track now. Lady of Honour was able to slow it up and led by 3/4 Sione. A length and a quarter Kiss on All 4 Cheeks. Foxy Frida just scrubbed along at that stage by the school at the 500. Then came Elusive Express, Sky Horse and Daisies as they approach the corner. Lady of Honour about to dial it up at the 400 metres, let her half Sione. Kiss on All 4 Cheeks now crucially needs a run from Foxy Frida, and then Elusive Express, Daisy, Sky Horse, Lady of Honour ping for home at the 200 metres. Kiss on All 4 Cheeks needs a run up on the inside. Sione and Elusive Express is trying to loop them. Lady of Honour, 100 metres to go from Sione. Daisy's bursting through, and Elusive Express the outside. Lady of Honour just in front. Daisy's coming at her, and Elusive Express a great finish. Daisies or Elusive Express touch out Lady of Honour. Behind them, photos for 4. Foxy Frida, Sione. Kiss on All 4 Cheeks didn't have a lot of room, and Sky Horse last. Photo finish.
Photo finish from Matt Hill. It looks as though Daisy's might have got her nose down at the right time, but Elusive Express was very finishing off her race as she just overdoes it a touch. But as we're getting towards the slow-mo, head up, head down. Oh, I'm staying out of that, Hutch. Daisy's
I'll go with Daisy's.
thanks for the...
I'll go with Daisy's. And Daisy's got it.
Well done on the Oaks over in South Australia, and she's always been a horse who has got plenty of talent. Jane mentioned it's hard to keep the weight on her through a
preference, given she had the measure of ball to the mile, and it's worked here. Terrific ride, Damien Lane. Lady of Honour was very good. She does a little bit wrong. She's not the finished product yet, and I think that just found her out a little bit at the mile. I'd be forgiving of Kiss on All Four Cheeks. A, she doesn't have a lot of luck. She tries to go for a narrow gap here and doesn't, loses momentum. And B, I don't think the Valley's her track. Daisy's was terrific, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether this form, how it works out.
This is as good a ride as you're going to see anywhere. Damien Lane missed the start. He had to go back, ride for luck. He sliced through the field. That's the difference between winning and losing here. Jamie Carr being caught wider, having to go round him, where Damien was able to stay in, save that ground on the home bend, slice through the field and just have that killer punch to get it over the line. That was the difference. As I said, that's as good a ride as you're going to see anywhere in Australia.
Let's bring a little bit of controversy.
Somewhere in the first 4 or 5, I would imagine. So, hopefully.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yes, the Golden Pendant, sponsored by Racing and Sports, 1,400 metres, a Group 2, and this mounting yard brought...
Punters are a forgiving lot. Espiona is a well-backed favourite yet again. Some a little bit braver than me, I think it's fair to say, but she's been really well-backed. 3 times more money on her than Nimmerly at $7 on the second line. Stutt Stakes at $8.50 alongside Catalan, who's actually the second best backed runner in the race, the Godolphin. One-way traffic, Espiona, Daylight, Catalan.
Run. Racing and Sports Golden Pendant. The Rough Electric Girl handled the start brilliantly. Landed about a half length in front of Nimmerly being sent forward. Expat going up the rails. Mirror Vision pushing through a gap there, followed by Palesa Pan Catalan. Works a bunch go here. Jamaya's there. Papali's burrowing through down on the inside rail, quickly improving. Dynasty's the last one. Expat leads the way by a half length on Nimmerly. 2 after Mirror Vision. Palesa Pan caught 3 wide. 5th the fence Papali. Then came Electric Girl. Catalan caught 3 wide in the run. A length and a half to Dynasty's midfield defence from Jamaya. My Whisper 3 out. Further back to Dalcini. Then the favourite Espiona from Star Tonte's Mega Raduna and Gin Martini. 450 metres to run. Expat swings the corner in front by 3/4 to Nimmerly. Mirror Vision stoked up in third. Then Papali from Palesa Pan. Dynasty's back on the rails, and then came Catalan. 300 metres to run. Expat shows the way from Nimmerly, who's just about on turns. Papali going through the centre. Palesa Pan's heading the line hard on the outside, and Palesa Pan moved up to join Nimmerly. Nimmerly the inside. Palesa Pan the outside. Nose and nose to the wire. Nimmerly just. I think Nimmerly a nose there to Palesa Pan. Papali the inside third, followed by Electric Girl, Catalan, Espiona late with Dynasties. Close-up Expat from Mirror Vision. Then came Gin Martini, Star Tontes. Further back to Meg Raduna, My Whisper and Dalcini. Photo finish.
Nimmerly looks as though she got her head down at the right time. A driving finish in the concluding stages. She's a Group 1 winner from last preparation. She won the Queen of the Turf at Royal...
They're both by So You Think. And here's the line. Nimmerly just... Yep, maybe a half head. Nimmerly first. Group 2, a half head. Nimmerly first. Group 2 Golden Pendant goes alongside her Group 1 Queen of the Turf, Palea Pan Brave. That's 2 placings in 2 Group 2s on a trip to Sydney. So her
mare the winner, and she did a really tough job there.
OK, the numbers are going up. Congratulations. She's already a Group 1 winner, and she's put a very important race, another one on her CV. Great mare she is. She beats the Queenslander Palea Pan and Papali into third.
Yeah, she's a terrific mare. She's so tough. You can make a couple of runs on her. She just keeps delivering. Loves Rose Hill. She does love Rose Hill. Wet, dry, whatever you want to put in front of her, she just misses reliable.
She's just a great racehorse, and when you see her in the flesh, she actually looks like a colt. She's big, she's strong, robust.
But I just love how she doesn't win by big margins, but she just loves sticking her head out.
Yeah, she does. Blypan was good. She's going to be a force in whatever she runs in these mares races. That's two good runs from her in Sydney now. What are we going to do with this Espiona?
It was just that I think the barrier beat it at Rose Hill on Saturday. I honestly do like. I've got a bit of a soft spot for her. I don't like the head carriage. Like that's. I don't know what's going on there. It's only as soon as she goes under pressure, as soon as James pushed the button again there yesterday, the head goes up and it's just an awkward style. But I think you've got to give her another chance.
Let's go to the stewards' footage.
It's closing considerably, actually. Not to say that Ellsberg's on the easy side, but there's only about 30 cents separating them now, with Old Flame trimming in 40 cents. It made a liar of me just going out 10. A Surf Dancer at 4.60 is just out 20 cents. A Tissue at $11 out.
Ellsberg drawn the fence. And they're off and racing. Ellsberg and Surf Dancer both jump well, and Ellsberg's got the fence, and Clarke won't be giving up the lead. Out by 3/4 to Surf Dancer, and Big Boy Roy away well. Going toe-to-toe with the two leaders as well for home too. So Ellsberg leads in the run down the side by a half length on Surf Dancer. A length off to Big Boy Roy. Old Flame given every hope on the run. A Tissue whipping up 3 wide now. Then Kerwin's Lane from Pinarello. Mount Popper moves into a 3 wide position. Being reined along, trying to improve from Dr. Drillin. 4 home twos last, but it's happening up front. Ellsberg turns in front of Surf Dancer, who's called upon in second. Old Flame moves into third, and then came a Tissue down the outside. Surf Dancer moved up to join Ellsberg. A length away to Old Flame, then Big Boy Roy into Tissue. It's Surf Dancer, a half 3/4 in front to Ellsberg and Old Flame. But Surf Dancer's going strongly, and Surf Dancer goes on to beat Old Flame. Ellsberg third, then Kerwin's Lane. Further back, Dr. Driller Tissue. Big Boy Roy from Pinarello, Mount Popper, and 4 home 2.
Well, there he is, Surf Dancer, winning in impressive style. First up into the campaign for Regan Bayliss. That's a double for Regan. And
normally take, but he's also qualified this horse for the big dance. He was $8 in the big dance. She whiz, he's in the South Grafton Cup, so he's qualified for that. He's qualified for the Epsom. He's qualified for some big races worth a lot of money coming up.
Yeah, and he left.
All these horses were nominated in the order of entry for the Epsom, but I don't know how many of them will go. Maybe Ellsberg will go there, but Surf Dancer, the winner, won't.
Yep, he's ticking along well. It's a lovely little return from him. He's come back well. Old Flame is ticking along beautifully for his grand final. I think Gerald May said to me yesterday he might change his tact and might run him in the Epsom next week. Ellsberg and Kerwin's Lane, he's a better horse second up, and he did enough first up.
The Epsom market, Ice Bath, Top Rank, Fangirl, Hinged. I'm not sure how many are going to line up in the Epsom and what they're going to have to do with the weights. I'm hearing they may raise them half a kilo. We'll go forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Big one of the day. This is race number 8, the Sandown Golden Rose, over 1,400 metres, Group 1. And this mounting out is brought to you by...
Up overpowering his rivals there, which was Aft Cabin, who's franked that form since. He's had a soft Randwick trial since. This track drying out has fallen into his hands. He's got a beautiful draw. I think what he's hoping... Well, quality colt, we know that. He was brutal winning the Ming Dynasty. Needs things to fall into place, but he's sure to be in the finish. It's just all about...
Slipper winner, Fireburn number 14, Brenton Avdulla and Gary Portelli.
Look, she did enough first up. 1,400's much more her go.
The Champagne Stakes winner, She's Extreme, Tom Berry and Anthony Cummings.
Yeah, she still hasn't bloomed yet as far as blooming in the coat, but really warming to her at the odds here, mapping well.
Here's In Secret the favourite. She's beaten the boys in the run to the Rose. James McDonald riding in a red cap for James Cummings.
Yeah, little plain Jane, but what a motor she has. She's obviously the name on everyone's lips there after the run to the Rose. She won it with style. Beautiful draw.
It's been tough, hasn't it, to try and isolate a favourite for this up until the past 2 weeks when In Secret really did just jump to the top of betting, and since that point it's near been one-way traffic from punters. Now, this is a horse that opened up in excess of 30 to 1. Suddenly we're $2.25 on race day. Jaguano at $7 was an amazing return, but a few punters just questioning that Melbourne form, I guess. Golden Mile at $7 is equal second favourite now. She's $6 now at 31. Mullane at 31 and 51 or more the rest. I'll go with
Flindell for his call of the Golden Rose Stakes.
Group 1, Sandown Golden Rose Stakes. Brosnan matched. Go, they're off and racing now. Zoo Tiger anticipated the start brilliantly. Races a half to 3/4 in front. Dormier away well straight to second. She's Extremes up there, just in advance of the favourite In Secret, and Golden Miles pushing forward out wide and going right around the field as Zoo Tiger steadies the tempo in front, and Golden Mile quickly got to second. Dormier back to third, now fourth as Paris Dior continues to improve. She's Extremes right there in the middle of the pack. The favourite In Secret down on the fence in the red cap. They're followed after 2 lengths to Mullane. Sajardin's off the course. Prometo back on the rails. 2 further back to Jacquinot from Sevignac. Then came Basquiat from Fast Witness. Fire Burns well back. Brosnan in a 3-wide position. And Political Debates last. 600 metres to run. Zoo Tiger in front from Golden Mile. Paris Dior 3 out third. In Secret creeping up on the inside as She's Extreme. Then came Dormier as they straighten up. Zoo Tiger being eyeballed by Golden Mile. Golden Mile moved up, really serving it up to Zoo Tiger. 2 lengths away to Paris Dior. In Secret going back to the inside. She's got a job to pick up. It's Golden Mile just in front of Zoo Tiger. A length away to In Secret. Golden Mile, Zoo Tiger, In Secret. Jacquinot storming home. In Secret up the fence. Jacquinot wide out. Jacquinot got up with a heart-stopping victory in the Golden Rose to knock off In Secret, followed by Zoo Tiger. Golden Mile in it for third. Further back to Fireburn from She's Extreme, Sajardin Mullane. Dormier from Paris D'Or, Prometo, Sevignac. Further back to Brosnan, Basquiat, Fast Witness and Political Debate.
Well, you didn't know where to look in those final stages, and Jacquinot was finding the line from back in the field. In Secret was owing up the inside and finding the line as...
Out wide, he's not even in the picture. Here he comes. Jacquinot looms up with In Secret and wins the Golden Rose. So Michael Kent Jr. and Mick Price win their 6th Group 1 together.
The way she fought, but all honest with the winner, he was a ripper, so strong out wide on his own late.
What an amazing win, coming from back off there when nothing at all has made ground all day. In Secret was game in defeat, but wow, what a win.
When you analyse the day as a whole, that's something that you thought couldn't be done today, Corey.
Well, I stated in the pre-race parade, I didn't like the horse because I know it's a get-back horse, but to reel off those sectionals and come down the centre of the track where nothing else has made ground all day, again, a sensational win.
Amazing win, the way he threw himself at the line.
Yeah, and considering that all day they weren't really making ground, I was a bit concerned before the race because nothing had really flashed home out in the middle of the track, but we didn't unleash him, but gee, what a horse.
Yeah. And you don't see horses come that wide and win at Rosehill very often, that's for sure.
Well, should he be thinking about the Everest?
Well, I say yes. This horse, you know, keep in touch with him, he's going to run well. Yep. He's going to run well, so I say be brave.
Mick Price, who wasn't there yesterday, Ray Thomas rang him, and the quotes from the Telegraph this morning, Jacquinot will go to the Everest if we get a run. He says, I know Jacquinot around the home turn. He looked to be in an unwinnable position.
Yeah, probably. He kept him in touch and he peeled off him here, Damien, and I thought he rode him beautifully to this stage. Obviously, he rode him beautifully to win, but he took a while to wind him up, and wind up he did. You know, they've run half a second faster than Nimmerley on the day, so it's a proper race. But to think he could get up with 150 metres to go there...
Pretty incredible. And not only his run, but In Secret. Like,
amazing.
It was really...
She was gone. She was
gone. She was going to get beaten, like, I reckon, a length. And then at the 100-metre mark, she found, like, 2 lengths.
Godolphin thought they had that race won twice.
Yes.
They were cheering for Golden Mile. They thought he had it in the box once he got past Zoo Tiger. And then when In Secret came at him, they were cheering again for a different horse before Jacquinot comes down the centre.
You got to dissect it. The winner was just in a league of his own to do what he did.
Yep.
But the second file ride out now,
as Gary pointed out, worth 1/7 of what the 4-year-old feature, the Golden Eagle, is. Jacquinot storms down the outside to snatch the race from the favourite in secret. Chryso. Forensics remains the only filly to win this race back in 2008. And Jacquinot comes through the McNeil, as we mentioned, after beating Arf Cabin, the Guineas Prelude winner, and Tijuana, the Stutt winner from Friday night. The previous three winners had all come through the run to the Rose, and Jacquinot's the first Victorian horse race to win this since Turak Toff all the way back in 2010. We mentioned at the top of the program, Mick Price has spoken to Warren Huntley on RSN in the last hour and said that the Everest remains absolutely on the table as a possibility, which says something given he's, if not favourite, well and truly in betting for, of course, a tilt at the Caulfield Guineas.
That was a terrific win. That's as high a rating performance as I think we've seen from this generation. So when they were 2-year-olds through the Golden Slipper, Blue Diamonds, etc., the early stage of this, their 3-year-old career, that was I didn't see it coming, I must admit. I certainly thought In Secret would be there in the finish and Golden Mile, etc. But he was the horse. We all sat here and we said, OK, what he's doing as a 2-year-old's a bonus. He's going to be the 3-year-old. And then some like me have forgotten and after waxing lyrical about it his whole 2-year-old season. But fastest last 200 of the meeting, he's come home in 11.08. It was even better between the 400 and the 200, Dwayne. That was some sort of a win.
Yeah, I think this was a race where he got it all right. Like, he's done some things wrong in the past, and I think he jumped so much better yesterday. I'm glad Damien Lane didn't get sucked into trying to ride him too close after that. He took his medicine, travelled really well, but the outstanding...
Really well. This is going to be a good race. I think In Secret, she might just be a little brilliant for the way that race worked out, so... Coolmore's got to be very much in the mix for her.
I think that Caulfield Guineas, what did Jacquinot's barnstorming win do to the markets?
Well, he's firmed significantly for the Caulfield Guineas. He's now a $4 joint favourite with Arf Cabin. He's into $15 to get the job done in the Everest, when Nature Strip dominates that market at $2.20. But I'm really fascinated.
Well, we are only 15 minutes out from the feature of the day today. The Group 1 Underwood Stakes over the 1,800 metres. It is a 6-horse field, and it was only just over an hour ago that we have a new favourite installed at the top of betting, and it is I'm Thunderstruck. He has been heavily supported, and I think the push is going to continue over the next...
Sponsored by Key Clean, $1 million on the line, Group 1 weight for age. It's been an 1,800-metre contest since 1994. Horse 1 is up. And scenes at Sandown we haven't had for a quarter of a century. Group 1 racing in Melbourne South East. Ben Ascari with Thunder.
Yeah, with a crowd, because we were here last year, but there was no one here to enjoy it. So this is going to be terrific.
I'm going with I'm Thunderstruck as well. It seems the market really wants to be with him as well. I think the pattern of today's race is ideal, and the fact that he...
With Mr Brightside from the yard, I just really like the fact that he keeps improving. He just shows signs of a good horse in the way that he carries himself.
Well, I'm Thunderstruck is into $2.20 now. He has been absolutely smashed in the last 20 minutes or so in the betting. He might even continue to trim up from that quote. It is quite remarkable what's happening here with the favourite, I'm Thunderstruck. We know that the track's been playing for those horses swooping. Small field,
100 gates are back and away, and Mo'unga was the best to begin with Alligator Blood. Mr Brightside isn't far away, and Zaki is right up there on the outside, but not being used early. So after 150 metres, it's Alligator Blood taking it up onto the course proper by 1.25 lengths to Zaki, and then Mo'unga 2 lengths away. 2 lengths, I'm Thunderstruck, the outer of non-conformist. So 1,000 metres to go. Alligator Blood looking for a cheap split here, led by 3/4 of a length, and as a result, Carr gets a bit closer on Zaki, a half length away now. They were followed by Mo'unga at the 800 metres. A length, Mr Brightside just inching a bit closer. 2 lengths to I'm Thunderstruck, who has its back, and non-conformist last. Alligator Blood joined by Zaki as they reach the 600 metres, and they're about to dial it up in the Underwood. Then came out deeper on the track. Mo'unga scrubbed along from Mr Brightside as Alligator Blood and Zaki now step it right up down the hill. 450 metres to go. It's Alligator Blood from Zaki looking to lug in. They're 2 lengths, Mr Brightside. Then I'm Thunderstruck down the outside with 3 to pick up. Alligator Blood, 200 metres to go. Zaki not done with, but Alligator Blood's 3/4 Zaki. I'm Thunderstruck running on. 100 to go. Alligator Blood from Zaki. I'm Thunderstruck. Alligator Blood. The gate is going to do it today. Alligator Blood's won at 3/4 of a length. Photo second, but Woongarone Thunderstruck and Zaki between them. Then Mr. Brightside and Nonconformist was last.
Adrian Bott pours over his 17th Group 1 win in concert with Gai Waterhouse. What a triumph from Alligator Blood. He's taken a bite out of a vintage weight for age field. Everything we love about the sport at its highest level in Australia. There was aggression, there was intent, there was a genuine contest, and Alligator Blood was the last man standing. A boil over in a field of 6. Hard to believe we're talking about a horse who's already got multiple Group 1s on his CV, of course, being an Australian Guineas and Stradbroke winner. But this is a new frontier. 1,800 metres for the first time, and he staved off some stars. Mo'unga was the one on the riding from Hugh Bowman to sneak up in behind Zaki late. Mr. Brightside had presented, so had I'm Thunderstruck. There's a lot to take out of this race. An individual assessment of all 6 runners required. But all honours, Alligator Blood wins the 99th Underwood Stakes.
Well done to Tim Clarke, Gai Waterhouse, Adrian Bott. They made the race. It didn't make it a sit and sprint. It looked a genuine test to the eye, Dwayne Dunn, and he was the toughest there at 1,800 metres, maybe exposing Zaki only second up into a preparation. And I just wonder whether I'm Thunderstruck.
Look, obviously he's had a, colourful career, the horse, and just feel privileged to be able to have the opportunity to train the horse, and particularly to Mr. Harvey to entrust us with him, and very proud of the horse coming out here today. Saw that during the week, and just over that extra trip, he's just able to find that nice rhythm. He can maintain those good sectionals at good high cruising speed, and he can find under pressure. So I expect that it's a testing track here today, and I expect him to be able to continue to find under pressure over a bit further as well.
Is that enough to give him a test in a Cox Plate?
It most certainly is.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Attention to race 8, which is the Group 3 Sandown Stakes, and this is another really quality field and a very competitive betting race. Having said that, at the moment it is a one-way traffic for the favourite Military Expert for Annabelle Neesham, who is just 50, as True Gentleman Roy out to $6, and the best of the rest is...
An outstanding field has been assembled. I'm with Pinstriped. Thought he couldn't have run much better first up. Fitter for that run.
He is just the ultimate athlete. I just love him on type. I like the way he's put together.
All about these two at the top of betting. At the moment, Military Expert is our favourite at $3.40, ahead of Pinstriped at $3.60. So it's clear these two are clear.
Ready and racing at the 1,500. Cinnamon goes back to the end, and El Rocco peeds back from the wide alley. Gentleman Roy from barrier 1 straight to the front from Military Expert. Age of Chivalry closer today, and then Dragon Leap and Pinstriped. Two further back, Lightsaber, Pondus, Boy in a line at the end. Gentleman Roy, 800 metres to go, bowls out for fun by a length and a quarter. Military Expert second. Third, the Insiders, Dragon Leap, and then Age of Chivalry. Lightsaber is out wider, improving. High Stranger and Pinstripe, 5 off the lead in between horses. El Rocco goes via the Cape. Cinnamon tracks it. Pondus well back with our Playboy as they run around the corner. Our Playboy almost in trouble there. Gentleman Roy at the 450, ping for home, has a bit in the locker, led 2 lengths. Dragon Leap back to the inside. Military Expert didn't find immediately, and then Pinstriped. It's Gentleman Roy sprinting for home at the 200 metres, wandering about, still 2 lengths to Military Expert, Dragon Leap and Pinstripe. Gentleman Roy looking to do it all, 100 metres to go, led a length and a half to Military Expert. Gentleman Roy's holding on, and Gentleman Roy 1.5, Military Expert, Pinstripe, Dragon Leap. Then came our Playboy, next to finish Cinnamon, Age of Chivalry from High Stranger, Pondus. A long gap, Crea Dearest, El Rocco last late.
The drift, a bit of a gift for those who were keen on the chances of Gentleman Roy, who alongside the runner-up Military Expert looked like the horses who were likely to lob on speed and be hard to run down, and that's proven to be the case. Pinstripe, well, the tuck team with this uber consistent galloper who had the form. He was 4 lengths off I Wish I Win. Fresh at Caulfield, I Wish I Win's going to go around a short quote in a pretty good race, the Testarossa, in about 35 minutes' time. Dragon Leap, not too bad as well. Pretty good top 4, I think, to follow going forward out of the Sandown Stakes. 12.9, 11.5.
Out from the final event on the program, and we do have the shortest price favourite of the day. We've been waiting for this one to see how I Wish I Win will fare at his second Australian start. He was so impressive, winning a couple of weeks back. Of course, he missed that run last Saturday. He's now $1.80 after being $1.95 all all the way through betting until 9 o'clock today, and he has been really well backed. I don't think that $1.80 is going to last. In fact, Ayrton has also been really well supported, so no knocks on this horse, who's in a similar position, having been scratched last Saturday, $4 into $3.70. The bulk of
the format of his first up performance on MRC Stakes Day, franked in the last 20 minutes by Gentleman Roy.
Yeah, it was a dominant win in fast time there on debut for the Moody stable. He was the only horse they wanted to back. They backed him as if they knew the result already. He bolted in. The horse he beat
to keep his fresh record intact. Have gone chips in here in the last, and it is all about I Wish I Win, now into $1.65, and wouldn't be surprised to see that trim up to $1.60. Only 15 minutes ago he was $1.85, and of course he was hovering around that $1.95 all throughout betting. So this is a
ready, and away they go, and Gravina away fairly. Open-minded jumped well with Imperial Lad Band to snatch out wide, trying to find a position as Open-minded's going to hold the lead from Gravina. Imperial Lad Regards Marie. Then came Ayrton, who got to 5th from Not an Option. Regards Marie. Next in the field is Ayrton around Not an Option and Belle Plaisir. And then 2 lengths Band to Snatch. Well back, I Wish I Win would spot the lead 8. More Than Exceed is second last, and Catalyst at the end. Speed's been pretty good. Around the turn, 500 to go. It's Open-minded Imperial Lad from Gravina, hooked to the middle of the course in the blue. 2 lengths Regards Marie, Belle Plaisir. Where are these favourites? Ayrton coming up the outside, 3 off the lead and coming on. I Wish I Win still third last. Gravina at the 300 metres in front of Regards Marie, Imperial Lad. Then Ayrton. Catalyst back over on the far side is finishing well, and Belle Plaisir is coming through from I Wish I Win. Ayrton at the 100. I Wish I Win's got out and flashing now. I Wish I Win over the top. Will look to be struggling, but makes it easy at the end. I Wish I Win from Ayrton, Band to Snatch, and then came Gravina. Next in the field across the track, Regards Marie and Catalyst from Belle Plaisir, Not an Option.
You wouldn't have parted with your worst enemy's money on I Wish I Win. The $1.70 VOP favourite at the 200-metre mark. Luke Nolan was surrounded, but in the end, it's plain sailing, and the Moody-Nolan combination have got themselves a double on Underwood Stakes Day. Waltz on by. She's going to head to the 1,000 guineas. Luke Nolan's got the decision of perhaps where he's heading with I Wish I Win, I imagine. The Toorak in a couple of weeks' time would perhaps be the race that beckons for this horse. Ayrton, good fresh. The only time he's had his colours lowered in 5 first-up runs. Great return from Bandersnatch to round out what's been a fantastic day for John McNeil with the double. And Gravina was the one to present, but a bit of class came to the fore in the end. I Wish I Win. That's some sort of victory in the Testarossa.
Seen some nice performances today, but that was right up there with them. That was a serious, serious victory. I think we all thought it when he couldn't get...
Jiu-Jitsu General Hill Stakes over 2,000 metres at weight for age. This mounting yard brought to you by Harper.
He sets up well, third up. He's off 2 Group 1 runs in the Memsie and the Mackay Diva, where he's been pretty good.
Than that today, and most at that point expected that Montefilia would just get out of touch. Cascadian at $2.70 on the second line has been a firmer today, and Numerian at $5.50.
Stakes, we're ready to go. Montefilia the favourite. Stand by for they're racing. Yonkers off the fence left well. Montefilia handled it nicely, and Kiss the Bride showing good must with Numerian right there. Elephant taken back, and Cascadian's going to flop back to last. So Kiss the Bride goes forward. On the outside, only 2 lengths away from the third horse. Then came Elephant, and Cascadian sees them all. They've got 800 metres to run, and Dylan Gibbons sitting pretty on the front runner. Kiss the Bride by 3/4 to Numerian. A length further back to Yonkers. Now Montefilia a half length back the outside. Cascadian's going to stalk the favourite now, and Elephant back on the inside as last. Kiss the Bride just in front from Numerian, and Montefilia pulls out 3 wide now, a half length off them. Cascadian gets onto her back as they turn. Kiss the Bride's had enough. Numerian takes the lead, but Montefilia looming up on the outside, and Montefilia revved up by Collar, trying to get on terms with Numerian, and Cascadian's going towards the inside. Montefilia is flat. She's gone, and Cascadian sprinted hard. Went up to join Numerian. Montefilia staggering, but she'll run third. Cascadian's drawn clear now from Numerian, and it's a big win to Cascadian in the Hill Stakes by 3 lengths to Numerian. Montefilia plodded into third. Yonkers fourth, and a big gap back to Elephant and Kiss the Bride.
Well, Montefilia is going to be interesting here because she had her tongue out, didn't she? Her tongue right over the bit on the last 200 metres. She looked almost distressed in that last little bit. That wasn't the Montefilia we know. It was a brilliant ride by James McDonald. He's happy to sit back. takes prize money to over $5 million. He's been a work in progress, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a mark.
The favourite in third spot, but the groundswell of support came for Cascadian, Ronnie.
And it was right. Money speaks all languages. He's a mudlark. It was a soft win. He was just an arrogant McDonald ride. And look, he's been a great stable horse, and they get a big result here. Nemerian's got his foot on the till. She was average. I think Jason said, she mightn't handle very heavy. She has in the past. So maybe she's got a little bit of fitness to come, but she left me flat. I thought she'd just go past him on straightening, and she was very ordinary, I must say.
He's got a...
I'm a bit of a Williamsburg fan here, despite the wide draw, but I think the profile's perfect, really. The heavy track's a tick, the distance is a tick.
Down at Randwick. Williamsburg is the $4.20 favourite, but that horse I touch on, Flag of Honour, is the best-backed runner. At the moment, it goes Flag of Honour, Communist, then Williamsburg in terms of money held. That said,
We really will. So Darren Flindell for the Dulcify, named after one of the best, probably the best that CSA's ever trained.
They're racing. No speed by Stroke of Luck, and Atmosphere jumped well together with Scientist. Lindemann, Extreme Freedom being pushed to go into a very forward position. 80 Grand will park just behind them in advance of Flag of Honour. Then came Conqueror. Communist conceding grounds. Then came Conqueror from Communist, Stroke of Luck, and Williamsburg is the last one. So Atmosphere in control now by 2 lengths to Extreme Freedom. Couple off to Scientist, third, being partnered the outside by Lindemann. Then Flag of Honour from 80 Grand and Conqueror pulling 3 wide, starting a run, and Communist gets onto his back, further back to Owen County, Stroke of Luck, and Williamsburg is pulling wider as they turn. Atmosphere turns in front from Extreme Freedom, and Scientist being reined up in third. A couple off to Flag of Honour, Communist to the outside from Lindemann, then Conqueror, and riding for Luck between them, Stroke of Luck down the outside. Williamsburg starting to wind up. Flag of Honour moved up to take the lead, but Communist claimed him with Williamsburg the outside. It's Williamsburg going after Communist, and Williamsburg in full flight the outside, going home best. He's gone from absolute last, and Williamsburg wins the Dulcify. Beat Communist. Getting up for third, Stroke of Luck, very strong late. Then Flag of Honour from Conqueror. A gap back to Owen County from Atmosphere. Further back to Extreme Freedom. After a long margin, Lindemann from 80 Grand and Scientists.
He was just so well in, Lizzie. I'll start with you, Caitlin. He was just so well in, Williamsburg. He had a terrific 2-year-old run. He won the Bayou, the Fernhill, placed in the Champagne.
Just looked at her.
She's actually come on, I think, from last week. I thought we'd see her a bit tucked up, but the last few days she's really started to fill out again. She's going to come down the outside, hopefully like Williamsburg just a minute ago, and as long as the tempo is a good solid gallop, it'll help her get home. With her, and is proud. Yeah.
Well, the Flight Stakes coming up next. I really like the progression of the New Zealand filly, Wolverine, since she's been here, stepping up from 1,200 to 1,400, and I think she's ready for the mile today. And having drawn
told me what she wanted to do, and she wanted to race. So here is a Fireburn, and certainly looks the horse to beat at $2.40. Zugotcha at $4.40. She's Extreme at $5.50. So in terms of money held, 53% of the money with Fireburn. There's 6 times more on Fireburn than there is on She's Extreme. Wolverine at $8.
And they're off and racing at North Star Lass. Clearly won the start. Landed a length and a half clear from Pavitra on the outside of Zugotcha. And Wolverine's going to sit a lot closer off the inside gate. Then She's Extreme going forward in advance of Renaissance Woman, Madam Pomerance Woman, Fireburn taking closer order. And the maidens of the field, Whisker to Whisker and Byron Bell are the last 2. They've got 800 metres to run on the Flight Stakes. North Star Lass from Pavitra the outside, proving a bit of a pest there, the roughie. Followed by Zugotcha on the inside as She's Extreme. 2 further back to Wolverine, pinned away by Madame Pomery. Then Fireburn travelling strongly in advance of Renaissance Woman, Byron Bell. And Whisker to Whisker is the last one. North Star Lass leads narrowly coming to the turn. Pavitra's under plenty of pressure now. So She's Extreme quickly peels off heels. Zugotcha stays back towards the inside. 2 clear from Madame Pomery. Fireburn 6 lengths away. Given the cue by Abdullah. And she's starting to wind up. Zugotcha went up the fence to join North Star Lass. She's Extreme 4 lengths to Fireburn. It's Zugotcha, North Star Lass and She's Extreme. Fireburn can't get there, but Zugotcha has got the Princess Series wrapped up. Big win in the Flight Stakes. And Zugotcha won it by 2.5 to She's Extreme. North Star last third, a gap back to Fireburn. Then Pavitra, further back to Renaissance Woman from Wolverine, Madame Pomeroy, Byron Bill and Whisker to Whisker.
Gee, she was impressive. I mean, she's been impressive all the way through, but that was dominating today. James McDonald continues his incredible run. He won this race in 2019, but he's got a treble for the day. Forget about Chris Waller not having a Group 1 winner so far. Well,
yeah.
He certainly got it.
I knew as soon as we were going to say...
Feel as she is. To race away and win like that after what I thought to be overdoing it the whole race, she just didn't want to settle the legs leading up to it. She won the Silver Shadow and then the T-Rose, and she caps it all off with the Flight. A class act. A class act. There was a few questioning the T-Rose form. There were a few questioning whether she'd finish a mile right off on a heavy track, but she just keeps lifting herself off the canvas, this filly, and has done an amazing job. So she's left no doubts that she's the best filly by a fair way. She's Extreme was good. Nearly a great ride by North Star Lass. It was a funny race. The way Tim goes out, and he bluffs them out the first.
Track's super. I was a bit worried about Fireburn.
Yeah.
The whole race, just the action and she's carrying her head really low. It wasn't right.
Well, she didn't run to market expectations, that's for sure. But there was a couple of funny races yesterday as far as the tempo of each. There was slow run races. There was races they stacked up. There was fast races, and this was a hard race to read because I think they went a little bit slower than it looked like, and they've brushed home there, but. Zugotcha won 3 legs of the Princess Series. The other leg was won by North Star Lass. They were all by Zoostar. Here is what...
Phenomenal. I'm talking, of course, about Lost and Running. He's just really strengthened this prep.
Yeah, no, and he had a good 6 weeks at the beach, you know, sort of helped him and got a good base of fitness, and he's come in. His work's been...
Everest.
Yeah, let's hope so. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think Lost and Running gets the job done here. Big run in defeat last time out from Marzu. Looks the logical second pick, and then Kementari. But how good's Lost and Running doing? They've named a pub after him. The coach and horses have been renamed this week.
Hey, I don't know whether it's the heavy track that's maybe swayed them, but $3.20 and $2.30 at this point, and I think it might close up a touch more. Overpass at $6 is on the third line. Now, there's a big gap in terms of money held between those top two and Overpass and Mars Crusader and Co. Kementari, $12.
Lost and Running the favourite. Goes about the rock. Lost and Running jumped out about midfield. Prime Candidate was fast into stride with Overpass, and quickly on the scene now is Apache Chase, the Queenslander. A couple clear from Marzu. The favourite Lost and Running parks in 5th. Then Shelby 66 from Kementari, Mars Crusader and Brutality is the last one. So Prime Candidate leads at the 800 metres by 3/4 to Apache Chase. Marzu's railing to third inside Overpass, 2 off then to Lost and Running. From Shelby 66, Kementari, Mars Crusader and Brutality is the last one. 600 metres to run. Prime Candidate leads the way by 3/4 to Apache Chase, followed by Marzu, then came Overpass. Bowman pulling wide now and Lost and Running as they straighten up. And it's Prime Candidate swinging in front by a length and a half to Apache Chase. Lost and Running gets going on the outside of Marzu, and they beat off Overpass. Prime Candidate the fence, being tackled right out by Lost and Running, and quickly Lost and Running moved up to take the lead. Marzu's fighting on together with Apache Chase. Back on the inside, Mars Crusaders flying late. It's Lost and Running from Marzu. Lost and Running, Marzu, Lost and Running. Lost and Running's won the Premier. Three-way go for the Miners. Marzu rattling home Mars Crusader and Kementari. Then Overpass from Apache Chase, Brutality. Further back to Prime Candidate and Shelby 66.
What a competitive race. So what does that tell us? I mean, how important is that going to be? Well, Lost and Running ticks a big box. We know that he's going oh so well. Back to you, Richo, because that was a very...
It's a super win because you had to sort of get off on the back of Prime Candidate, took him nowhere, and he's had to make a really long run on him, you know. So, but that's the way you want to race.
And there's your big firmer there. If we get on a dry track, Mars Crusader, we've been saying it all along, they're smoking their pipe, waiting for the dry track on Everest Day. You have to duck back to, well, perceivably the worst part of the track here, down the straight.
Yeah, who knows?
That's a very heavy track out there today.
Yeah, and I think that's why he sort of...
And running Marzu and Masked Crusader. Nature Strip stays as a $2.10 favourite. I thought that was surprising.
I do too. I thought he would have drifted a bit.
Yeah, I can't believe that, because this horse is... There's a couple, the big three here, really. Lost and Running Cruise is up here and maybe just runs out of a little bit of a condition, or maybe it comes back to that wet track factor.
Yep.
Marzu, well, he's on his game, he's improving, and, well, I can't believe he didn't firm Masked Crusader.
He didn't firm?
He maybe, I think he's $13 or something, or he might have been...
Just a Nature Strip, $2.10. Lost and Running went from $6 to $7.
Are they kidding?
He drifted a point. Marzu went from 11 to 9. Masked Crusader went from 15 to 11. Overpass.
12 months at least.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Going with the grey here, top ranked. I liked him first up in the Bill Ritchie. He got the job done well. I think the pace is going to be genuine enough to suit his run-on style. Hugh Bowman's got a lot of time for him. And I think top rank can beat Ice Bath and this year's Tab Epsom.
Certainly has. When I woke up first thing this morning, Hinged was into favourite. Well, now Ice Bath has taken that mantle back, and that's probably how things are going to jump, I would imagine. Ice Bath favourite from Hinged. Top ranked now on the third line at $4.80. In terms of money held, Ice Bath is the best backed runner. That's flipped since this morning when he prep at $14. Ellsberg just drifting a touch. Kiku much the same, 15 out. It's a little bit easier now that it's stopped. Ice Bath is the hot horse, and there's now twice as much money on Ice Bath as Hinged. That's a complete flip from this morning.
Fascinating.
First Group 1, and we're ready to run. And the gates are back. Fangirl was last out. Ice Bath was second last away. And Ellsberg and Crosstalk jump well. Nimmerlee's pushing forward on the outsider. Hinged and War Eternal handy on the rails. 2 lengths further back to top ranked, a gap of 2. 3 lengths then to Ice Bath. In front of Fangirl, then Papali. And Kiku's back last of all. So Crosstalk holds the front. And this field is starting to string right out. 3 lengths then to top ranked. 3 lengths to Ice Bath from Fangirl, Papali. And Kiku is the last one. They've got 800 metres to run, and Crosstalk's got along at speed. Out by a length on Nimmerlee. 2 lengths away to Hinged in a stalking position, clear from Ellsberg. Then War Eternal from top ranked. Fangirl, Ice Bath, she's right on the coattails of the grey. Further back to Papali, and Kiku's last of all, racing towards the corner. 500 metres to run. Crosstalk in front from Nimmerlee, who's sticking to the task. 2 lengths away to Hinged. Top ranked slightly balked there, getting to the outside. Ice Bath is 2 lengths away as Nimmerlee takes the lead now at the top of the road. But top ranked is closing in, so is Hinged. Ellsberg taking a run towards the inside. Ice Bath, the wheels are spinning. It's top ranked and Hinged going to the front. Top ranked, Hinged. Ellsberg's fighting on the inside, coming home hard. Top ranked in front from Ellsberg. Top ranked, Ellsberg bobbed. Oh, close one of the Epsom. Ellsberg really bobbed there on the inside and made it very close from top ranked. Hinged has finished third and they gap the rest. Nimmerlee, Ice Bath, Fangirl, Crosstalk, War Eternal, Kiku and Papali.
Well, I think he's got there, Ellsberg. It looked like top rank was probably going to win or get his first Group 1 if the bob goes the right way. Gee, it is so tight. Top rank bobs. Hinged, of course, squeezed up in the middle of the...
Look, the longer this goes, the more likely it is it's going to be a dead heat. A dead heat.
It looks like a dead heat to me. Very frustrating times for both jockeys to canter back and...
Well, this is the longest photo we've seen at Randwick in a long, long time.
It's got to be a dead heat.
Here we go. It's a dead heat. It's a dead heat. And the crowd roars. The Ellsberg fans and the top-ranked fans. And look at this scene now of Duller and Bowman deciding it's a dead heat in the Epsom.
And it's just, when you have a horse like that, he's so honest. I think 3 times he's been out of the first 4. I wish they had more. And,
well done, mate.
Great stuff.
So there you have it. So, Em, over to you. A dead heat here in the Epsom. Remarkable stuff.
Here we are, picking them up around the home turn, and Ellsberg and Top Rank were together around the home turn.
Yeah, they were, and there was just no betting in the wide world when this big grey just ambled and loped up to him. And, oh, look at him go. He's a beautiful horse. He's going to just race away with this, but he showed good fight. I think Gerald may have thought, and Sterling may have thought, yeah, well, they're going to go to the 1800s. So it was a last-minute decision to run him here, and boy, was it a good decision. You've got two stallions there, fighting out the finish.
I tell you what, that Top Rank, I know you're second up.
Yep.
Next time round, he's going to be
better again.
Oh, better again for sure. You could just tell he just peaked.
And Bowman's quip to the stewards was, I wished I'd had a look at the photo before correct weight. I might have had
the video.
Yeah, because he's saying that Abdallah came out more than him.
Indirect interference.
Yeah.
You're only feeding them more than
It wouldn't have
a longer delay.
Well, the bloke who you decide.
Oh.
Hey? Oh, inside one for sure. Now, of course, the grey nose makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But there's no margin
It's
there.
only 10 minutes more difficult. That's
That's right. There's no margin there.
No.
That is a dead heat.
No.
Now, if anything, on track there was a leaning towards the inside. They felt that Ellsberg can't lose the race. He might share it, but he won't lose the photo. So Bowman and Abdallah, what looked at the start of the week as what was going to be a disappointing Epsom with just 12 acceptors and 10 runners, has turned out to be one of the most memorable Epsoms in a long time.
It was a terrific race. Like I said, it was
with Greg.
I really like the progression in recent starts of Durston, and I want to stick with an informed stayer on the way up. And I think the booking of Kerrin McAvoy is a huge plus today. No compromise. He's going to love the current conditions, and so will Stockman. So they're my...
I tell you what, it's a changing market as well. Durston was fairly short this morning. I did think there'd be a drift, but not this big. There's a bit of wind out here at Randwick today, but this horse is blowing a gale. $4.80 out from $3.10 first thing this morning. Ladonda V's been a good firmer, into $5.50 now, and there's plenty of money going that way. No compromise at $6.50. Trimming in from 8s, but a little bit quiet on the money front. Grove Ferry at $7.50, around to take that runner on. And the other one I wanted to point out was Hammer On. We went up $51 on Wednesday. That was a...
Set to go. Back in the right. Grove Ferry jumped fairly from the outside draw. Carrot jumped well. So did Sacramento as expected. And Ladonda V's right underneath the pair. Cucaracha's going to hold a forward spot. And now Grove Ferry is spearing across, looking to cap in behind the leaders. Although Stockman's pushing through in the centre to keep Grove Ferry 3 out. They're followed then by No Compromise from Hammer On. Realm of Flowers out deep. The earlier favourite Dirt and leave the back straight at this point is Arapaho. So it's Sacramento in front from Grove Ferry over at the 1,000 metre mark. Then came Ladonda V from Carrot. Further back to Cucaracha, Realm of Flowers and Stockman. Durston has picked up a few lengths at this point from Hammer On. No Compromise got shuffled back a little bit, and it's well back in the field from Arapaho, who's second last, and Mancayan sees them all. Grove Ferry's pouring the pressure on now, and Cariff got going as well. So Cariff and Grove Ferry, they take the front together at the 600 metres. Ladonda V's off the fence, giving chase in the third from Realm of Flowers than Stockman. Sacramento's had enough. Durston's hooking to the outside. Arapaho getting onto its back from No Compromise, looking for room as they turn. 400 metres to run. Cariff in front, ran out a bit on Ladonda V, betting on Grove Ferry. Then Realm of Flowers and Durston's winding up down the outside. Arapaho trying to go with it, slicing through the middle. No Compromise, and also Stockman. It's Cariff, Ladonda V, Durston the outside. Realm of Flowers still there from Stockman, and No Compromise picking up now. It's Ladonda V, No Compromise, late Realm of Flowers, No Compromise, and Ladonda V. Here we go again, another close one. No Compromise and Ladonda V hit it in a tight photo. Realm of Flowers has fought on doggedly for third in front of Stockman, Sacramento, then Durston, who peaked on the run. Further back to Carrot from Mankay and Hammer On, Cucaracha, and Grove Ferry was last to finish.
Could we have a dead heat again? I mean, seriously, could we have a dead heat in the Metropolitan like we did in the Epsom? Now, the bob of the head will tell everything.
Realm of Flowers isn't too far away. Here's the post, and it's going to be... Oh! Nothing in it. Inside!
Inside, no compromise. Tommy Berry's won the Metropolitan, beating La Don de Vie and Realm of Flowers.
Well, he won.
There's a pretty good 2,400 metre race in a couple of weeks' time. Is that their plan for it?
He might need to grow a few lengths over the next few weeks to do that, but we won't disappoint anyone today. We'll enjoy the win, albeit a narrow one, and enjoy it.
One of his better Group 1 wins, as far as the ride goes, on no compromise.
Yeah, he went to Plan B when he was going to just split through here, and he could just see what was going to happen, and without riding into it and checking, he says no.
Yeah, I'm going to change course.
Had to make a split-second decision. It was a winning one because he would have got knocked down.
It would have become a jostle, and it would have shoved the horse off balance. He didn't rip it off balance, but sometimes when you change direction like that,
for those horses, Durston, I think he's work in progress, but he looks a dry tracker, doesn't he?
One of the others we have, Manifold. Ben, your pick of the 3-year-old fillies.
Yeah, I think the favourite deserves to be favourite, and she's Lickety Split. She's far better suited here.
And you could make a case for a number of them. I'm sticking with She's Lickety Split. I had her on top when I saw her at Caulfield.
The favourite over the mile here. Tricky little battle of tactics on speed, early doors. Watch for that. Damien Lane, where will he fit from that barrier 7? Sumatra, they're going to ride forward, $6.50, safe around that.
Like the 1,000 guineas, and they're set to go for the Edward Manifold. Ready to run. Signal, and they're racing at the mile. Pretty good even line. Whispering Lady's going to drift back with Vagrant and also Sumatra, and no speed from Moko. Taj Need began well. Celestial Spirit out wide is pushing up with Do It La. She's Lickety Splits looking for a forward position, just trying to sneak back closer to the rails. And 2 lengths to Vagrant. 800 metres to go. The leader is Celestial Spirit. Tries to fill up the lungs before the corner. Led by a length and 3/4 to Do It La, Taj Need. And then came She's Lickety Split. Further back is Street Delight as time goes by. Then came Moko. Sumatra's going to be one of the widest around the corner. And then came Typhoon Tetmus well back with Whispering Lady and Vagrant. 4:50 to go. Celestial Spirit with Do It La tanking up on the outside. She's Lickety Split, also yet to be called upon, is ambling up out wider. And then Taj Need, as time goes by, has hit traffic problems. And Typhoon Tetmus coming on at the 200. She's Lickety Split from Do It La, and Taj Need back to the inside from Typhoon Tetmus at the 100. She's Lickety Split draws away. She's Lickety Split is going to do it and scored 3/4 Typhoon Tetmus. Taj Need, Do It La. Then as time goes by, next to finish Vagrant, Moko, Whispering Lady, Celestial Spirit. Towards the end, Street Delight and Sumatra disappointing at the end.
We've had 9,000 guineas winners come out of the Manifold since 2000. Amphitrite in 2018, the most recent of those. You feel like our winner here, She's Lickety Split, is very much atop the pecking order ahead of the Wednesday feature in 10 days or so time at Caulfield. Super ride.
She's Lickety Split in the Group 2 Edward Manifold, this traditional lead up to both the 1,000 guineas and perhaps for the fillies looking to head out to the Wakeful and Oaks trip back at Flemington in a month's time. She got a better surface than she struck at Caulfield in the 1,000 guineas Prelude, Ben, but also the addition of blinkers was pivotal.
Yeah, and she just had a much better, run in transit, didn't she? She was given a beautiful ride going done yesterday. Gave her absolutely every chance. She was far better suited under the set weights conditions of the race too. So in the Guineas Prelude, she had 59 kilos. She had the penalties, being a Group 1 winner in New Zealand. She had a tough run, 3 wide on a fast speed. Yesterday, she gets the beautiful run in transit, a nice, but she'll probably get herself into the field. But I think Boogie Dancer, it's interesting. Quinny mentioned that she's Lickety Split, who does have a bit of class, and she had a bit against her against Boogie Dancer. But to think that she's gone to favouritism now, maybe I'd still have Boogie Dancer of those fillies we've seen in Melbourne as the top seed.
We're going to have this last start. He's quite safe around that $5. Swiss Exile brings the best Sydney 3-year-old form. Sits on speed, will be hard to run down. You're getting an each-way price. $16 out from 11 opening. Zeus and
Flemington Straight, the place to be on Tab Turnbull Stakes Day. We're up to race 5, the HQ Tavern Danehill Stakes, 1,100 metres, Group 2 set weights plus penalties for the 3-year-olds. This race, of course,
cleaned up beautifully in the coat. He's now sporting a summer coat. He's got a great colour to his skin. He's holding condition really nicely this prep.
On the Turnbull Stakes program, but it's about Giga Kick here, Ben.
Yeah, it is. I think he deserves favouritism. It was some sort of win last time. He Wasn't entitled
to justify it with a short price favourite, but as I said, it was like assessing a different horse in the yard, and I think that it's a good sign. He's come on in the...
What is a lightly raced bunch of 3-year-olds here for the Danehill. Giga Kick, we know he's undefeated. He's $1.85 here for the Danehill, and clearly the best backed on turnover with Sportsbet.
And they're racing. Giga Kick from barrier number 10 was away cleanly. Sun Tzu is showing speed, sweeping across the face of the field from Duel. Brereton is not too far away from the action over on the far side as they come up the inside. Going to track the odds-on favourite wherever it goes. 550 metres to run. It's Duel, the leader from Sun Tzu, Swiss Exile, and Giga Kick is coming on up the middle. They were followed next by Buena Noches, who hooks out wider. Cannonball is coiled up, and further back in the field, Great Barrier Reef. 250 to go. It's Duel with Giga Kick joining in, and Buena Noches the outside. Giga Kick takes the lead, shown the whip, led 3/4 of a length. Buena Noches, Duel, Cannonball. So it's Giga Kick finding 50 metres to go. Buena Noches is going to lunge. Giga Kick or Buena Noches. It's very, very close, but I think Giga Kick's held it. Then Cannonball, Duel in photos, back behind those Brereton, Great Barrier Reef, Swiss Exile. Next to complete the course, General Barca, then Stupendo, and then Sun Tzu and Zoo Sensation. It'll be a photo finish, but it'll be Giga Kick by a nostril. Giga Kick will win. Craig Williams for Clayton Douglas. He looked pretty confident. He was looking around. He just didn't know when to push the button because he knew Buena Noches was behind him.
Thrills all round for Clayton Douglas and the team. The photo, there's a pimple, there's a nostril. It's millimetres, but it's Giga Kick's Danehill Stakes. He's now 4 from 4. Buenos Noches is going to be there. Noches is going to be there in 4 weeks' time come the Coolmore Stutt Stakes when there's an extra 100 metres.
But the Giga Kick Clayton Douglas story is a fantastic unfolding one. Group 3 vein, now Group 2 Danehill.
Between runs, and Giga Kick, to his credit, was able to hold off Buenos Noches over the concluding stage, but they both looked terrific Coolmore chances.
50 to go. It's Duel with Giga Kick. Giga Kick finding 50 metres to go. Buena Noches is going to lunge. Giga Kick or Buena Noches. It's very, very
So he's 6 weeks off the vein victory that gives Clayton Douglas a 4-week preparation into the Danehill. He's trying to time it to the second.
Yeah, he certainly is. The horse looked a little bit above himself in the yard. I think he's going to take improvement out of that, and I spoke to Craig Williams after. It was a super effort.
He's a really nice horse, the second horse. He has a real crack. And, you know, all things being equal, if they were both at their top, you'd think, OK, I want to be with the second horse in the Coolmore, Dwayne, but you touched on Giga Kick's probably got improvement to come. He had that gap.
Not applying himself, so he's got a little injury issue that will need to be addressed. I love the run of Cannonball.
Pretty good.
I thought that was a big improvement from this guy. And
Kieran Murray and Dave Eustace chasing their 3rd straight win in the Lexus Bart Cummings. A victory would draw them alongside the man whose name is adorned to the race, and Rob Hickmott with 3 victories in the event, and they have the race favourite, Ben.
Yeah, I think today's the day for him. So he drops down to
the 2. I love the way he's progressed this campaign. I think the way he returned to the races just indicated that he could get out of that. Dyko and Sweet Junior.
So Interpretation, you were getting $3.60 earlier this morning. He's back out to $3.90 now. Really good spread of money here in the Bart Cummings over this 2,500 metres. So favourite getting soft in the market late. We'll probably start with a... So favourite getting soft in the market late. We'll probably start with a 4 in front of its name. Luna Flair's the one they've come for. $8.50 into $6.50. Hard fit now.
6 on Vet's advice. Desert Icon is a late withdrawal. Late scratching in the Bart Cummings. Desert Icon, and the rest of the field is set to go. They're ready at the 2,500 metres and they're racing, and Luna Flair on the inside jumped enthusiastically. Showing pace, Vow and Declare. Out wide, pushing up is San Huberto. A few of these want a piece of the action. Midnight Blue is also driving through. And Interpretation, as we were told, is right up there in the firing line with Serpentine. Out of the straight, 2,200 metres to run, and it's the English Derby winner from 2 years ago. Serpentine, the leader from Interpretation. Midnight Blue wide. Then came Vow and Declare looking for a forward spot. Next in the field, out deeper, is Deshaun Sweet Jr. And on the rails is Luna Flair. A length and a half ran Francesco Guardi, and then came High Emotion. And at the end of the field is King of the Castle. Serpentine, the leader from Midnight Blue. As they reach the 900 metres, they've slowed it up in this. Then Deshaun Sweet Jr., who's nice and close, a length and a quarter away. San Huberto out 4 wide. Interpretation behind them. And then came Luna Flair. Next is Vow and Declare, High Emotion, team captain King of the Castle. Francesco Guardi at the end. So they're tightly packed around the corner. They come around the bend for a spot in the Melbourne Cup. 550 metres to go. It's Midnight Blue on the outside of Serpentine. Deshaun Sweet Jr. next. Then came San Herberto, Interpretation, Luna Flare. High Emotion brought to the outside. Vow and Declare needs a run. And then came King of the Castle, Midnight Blue. 300 metres to go. Sprints to the front, a length and a half. Luna Flare, Interpretation. Serpentine is kicking back. And then came Francesco Guardi from a long way back. But Luna Flare, 100 metres to go. Takes the lead, comes clear, a length and a quarter. Luna Flare will win. Luna Flare from Francesco Guardi, and third in the middle was Interpretation from Vow and Declare, and then came team captain Midnight Blue from Serpentine, who was in it for a long way. Next to finish in the race, High Emotion in company with Deshaun Sweet Jr., well back King of the Castle and San Herberto.
It's the mares via the naturalism once again, the fourth time since 2004. That's delivered the winner of the Bart Cummings. Luna Flare had good market support. Michael D's got himself a double on Turnbull Stakes Day, getting it done with the girls. He, of course, was aboard Excelita to win the Rose of Kingston earlier on. A super performance from Francesco Guardi, with the Wallace stable bringing that Gallagher south rather than running in the Met. No problems for Luna Flare and Graham Begg, the 7-year-old mare. She's allotted 51 kilos after winning the Bart Cummings. She heads towards
trainer, and he's got this mare flying. Now, as we picked up the replay, we saw Midnight Blue rolling around, Interpretation handing up, and all the speed going out of this race. This was borderline farcical. Some of these stayers, they want to get into a rhythm, they want to breathe and find out, be allowed to try and stay. My concern, Luna Flare, is she going to be back off a genuine speed, back on the inside? Well, she's just behind them. Ends up, those horses, have a look at Vow and Declare, one off the fence, has no luck at all over the concluding stages. Interpretation was held. Francesco Guardi, Dwayne, almost comes down at one stage of the race, was lucky to stay on his feet. He was an astonishing run, but this was not a genuine staying contest, which was a bit of a shame. Usually it was a stunning performance from Francesco Guardi. I think we have to be a little careful about how we assess this race. So a horse like him, you never suited nearly falling, but the slow tempo, and when he did get spat out the back, at least he got clear galloping room, and he's got a sharp turn of foot over shorter distances. And so I'm going to be really forgiving of Vow and Declare, and also Interpretation. I just think they were the two that were completely unsuited by what happened and ran.
Francesco Guardi, the runner-up at about the 800-metre mark. The stewards' reports come through saying that the horse had taken a misstep effectively, or an awkward stride, but watching the replays, and the angles were all a bit cluttered as much as we looked at them. One, Froggy's done a remarkable job to stay afloat, but wondering whether perhaps there was a little bit of a clipping of heels or something?
Yeah, it's that side-on one made it look like he didn't know where his feet were going to land at that stage, but take you out of play. So the effort of this horse was outstanding.
Amazing. And
we'll have a scratching to come in the Gilgai. Benescara, you with the Newmarket winner?
I am. I think third up. Getting onto a firm track's a big key. It was a soft track, which was against Sandown. I think that's an advantage for her. Private Eye is a class horse who's trialled really well. I'm not surprised there's been some market support. He was double figures earlier in the week. Camel Passer was terrific.
Really good. Were presented again really good in the yard today. So the 6 Rockin' Horse.
Private Eye, this is a good go here. Was as good as $8.50 this morning, just after scratching. So did touch the $4.80 now, settling at that $5 mark. What's that? Well, very solid. She is your early favourite now. Your return on investment, we looked at early. A bit of specking for you. Private.
And the field is set now for the Gilgai. Stand by, 1,200 metres, and they're racing. Private Eye jumped away. OK, got a little bit of a brush from the astrologist shortly after the start. Showing pace, Serious Suspect, and over 800 metres, the astrologist from Athelric in the blue, and Camel Passer outside of it. Then Serious Suspect, Rockin' Horse, and further back is Swats, that Shaquiro Baller. Private Eye, Zutori well back in the field with Tycoonist and Wild Planet. Onto the course proper with 500 metres to go. It's the astrologist and Camel Passer, a length and a half. Rockin' Horse, Athelric and Serious Suspect. Then Shaquiro Swats, that badly needs a run. Then Baller and Private Eye down the outside from Tycoonist. The astrologist, 250 metres to go, joined by Rockin' Horse, and now Private Eye. The heavily backed Private Eye takes the lead from Rockin' Horse, the astrologist, and then Baller. But it's Private Eye surging away, back for a stack and bolts in. Private Eye from Rockin' Horse, Baller, then the astrologist. Further back, Zutori, Tycoonist, Swats that. Serious Suspect Suspect, Camel Passer, Wild Planet, Thelrick and Shaquiro.
This day last year, it was an Epsom for Private Eye, and he starts perhaps a trajectory towards a Champions Mile here in 5 weeks' time with a slashing victory in the Gilgai. And all Josh Parr had to do was find some clear air crossing the 300 metres when he was inside Ty Kuniston, had Baller in front of him. He duly delivered that, and the 60 kilos was little impost for our race favourite, who was heavily, heavily supported in betting and has been the theme of the afternoon.
Brought the different form into a race that was probably craving it, and he's just proved a class above his rivals. Rockin' Horse with the Flemington 1200 metres.
They've run 1:08.2, which is sizzling time for 1200 metres here, and Dwayne, he has put an absolute space in his rivals here, Private Eye.
Yeah, he was in a class of...
Around the country, or for that matter, perhaps around the world. This horse was the Epsom winner 12 months ago. He becomes the 7th horse since 2004 to win the Gilgai Fresh.
Yeah, visually it was one of the more impressive performances of the day, but then we get the data through this morning, and it was the most impressive performance of the day according to the data. So he got back and into a bit of an awkward because he's able to get into the clear, and he's let down with a huge turn of foot to win this race and win running away decisively.
Horse Thelrick and Serious Suspect, then Shaquiro swats that badly, needs a run, then Baller and Private Eye down the outside from Tycoonus, the astrologist. 250 metres to go, joined by Rockin' Horse, and now Private Eye. The heavily backed Private Eye takes the lead from Rockin' Horse, the astrologist, and then Baller. But it's Private Eye surging away, back for a stack and bolts in. Private Eye from Rockin' Horse, Baller, then the astrologist. Further back,
Dwayne, we'll take a look at the drone vision in a sec.
That you can.
So he's in the Champions Mile.
And the change to the conditions of the race now being weight for age plays into his hands.
Yeah, so he's put himself right there. So you've got a horse like Thunderstruck who they're going to try him at 2,000 metres, and if he wasn't able to run that, he'd probably be top seed for a race like that. But he's there with him, Private Eye. He ran really well behind Thunderstruck in a Golden Eagle, and I think he's...
Here's Private Eye. Could James Harron pick Private Eye?
Why not? Why not? He's an Epsom winner. He should have won the Stradbroke. Yeah, he should have beat Alligator Blood in the Stradbroke, mind you.
Yeah.
And look at his 1,200 metre record. I think he's had 5 runs at 1,200 for 4 wins.
And he likes the soft going, doesn't he?
Well, he's probably better on the dry. That's why he was there. But that's an awesome return.
Yeah.
And he had 60 kilos. And he's a back marker. Mm-hmm. He loves Ramwick. I can really make a real push for him.
Yeah.
Yep, well...
If they won a slot.
Yeah, they I think...
So fantastic history, hasn't it, of the Turnbull Stakes. So there's the trophy. It's $1 million in prize money, Group 1 set weights and penalties. And such a great guide to the Caulfield Cup and the Cox Plate over the years.
This is the track that he performs at his best at. There's a lot of positives in the favour here of young Werther.
I love to... Pointer for the spring features to come. 8 of the last 10 Turnbull winners have then run top 3 in either a Caulfield Cup, a Cox Plate or a Melbourne Cup. Who takes out the 75th edition, Ben Ascari?
I like the class horse of the race in Duis. I'd be a little forgiving.
Yeah, I've gone with Maximal on top at a price to beat Gold Trip. Young Werther's another horse.
Even Group 1 come with Young Werther on top. I loved his first up parade, and he's taken really nice improvement out of that run.
Turnover on the sports bet books for the feature. He is your favourite, Mulstara, clear-cut favourite from Next Bets, and that is Duis in the book. So 370 to 550, surefire. The price taken, he's popular with sports bet. Trims a little to $8.50. Young Werther, he's here to play, and the market likes him as well. We got outside of that...
2 winners of the race have gone on to win the Caulfield Cup. He's a Shocker, takes the outside. Racing in the Turnbull. Inspirational Girl was the 3rd last out. Milford goes back to the end with He's a Shocker. Maximal jumped well with Luncy's, and also right up there Duis, Smoke and Romans, and there's Knight's Order from the deep. Young Werther holding its position on the rails. They were followed next in the field by Gold Trip and Profondo on the inside. They reached the 1,600 metres in between horses. Luncy's just ahead of midfield. Next in the field is Luncy's. Gold Trip is about 2/3 down the field at the moment. Then came Crystal Pegasus Pegasus, Milford, Chapada. He's a shocker as well, back with Great House and Surefire. So they reach the 950, and it's Knight's Order leading by a length and a quarter. Second is Smoke and Romans. It's been a bit slow mid-race. Two further back, Maximal Young Verter, and then came Jewis, who got to fifth and would spot the lead about 5 lengths, but just inching closer from Profondo and Luncy's. And then came Gold Trip next, also getting a bit closer. Inspirational Girl, Chapada, Crystal Pegasus from Great House as they run the corner. Surefire, Milford well back with He's a Shocker. Into the straight, 450 to go. Knight's Order just in front of Smoke and Romans, getting a bit closer now, and it's a neck away and now levels up. They were followed by Maximal. Young Verter behind them needs a run, Dewis, and then Gold Trip. Further back, Profondo. Smoke and Romans, 250 metres to go, takes the lead from Maximal Young Verter. Then Gold Trip. Smoke and Romans, 100 metres to go, still in front and will win the Turnbull. Smoke and Romans from Maximal second, Young Verter third, and fourth was Knight's Order. Then Inspirational Girl, Luncy's, Gold Trip, Dewis, Profondo, Great House, Chapada, Surefire, Milford, Crystal Pegasus, and He's a Shocker at the tail of the
Group 1 with victory here aboard Smoke and Romans, who the Mar Eustace Magic have taken from winning a Pakenham Cup 10 months ago to Group 1 Turnbull Stakes. They are geniuses. This horse does the naturalism and Turnbull double as December Draw did some 11 years ago before running as a beaten favourite in a course.
Run really well on dry ground. Young Verter's ticking over beautifully. Knight's Order was good on speed. Gold Trip probably had a tough run, Dwayne, and he's stuck to the task quite well. The disappointing runner was Jewis. She had every opportunity in running and didn't finish it off.
Isn't it something?
Daily sectionals, this tells a story, particularly in terms of where the Turnbull is relative to the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's. I've never seen anything like it. So in the years that I've been looking at, and thanks to the Daily Sectionals for sending their stuff through, and the years I've been looking at their stuff, I've never seen the feature Big Group 1 ranked 8th of 9th on the day. So that's really small. You know, a bit of a nice even spread of position in running. Lanes were all pretty similar. So lanes 11 to 14, and rails out 9 metres. So that theoretically means 3 to 5 in that 5 metres of fresh ground. I think most people are
taken out by Smoke and Romans, and Kieran Maher post-race saying that this horse is a product of their system, taken from winning a Pakenham Cup in early December last year to now a Turnbull.
Yeah, I might have mentioned it on the coverage yesterday. There was a day in the middle of winter in 2020, I think it was, where I liked winter in 2020, I think it was, where I liked him in a benchmark 64 at Bendigo, and he got beaten over 1,600 metres. So it just shows horses can improve, can't they? And they can continue to improve, and the ability of this mark. You know, we have to address the elephant in the room. This race is rated 8th of 9 on the day, and what does that mean going forward? He has to be a genuine Caulfield Cup contender based on the fact that he drops right down in the weights, and he may be even better suited at 2,400 metres, and who knows what else is around. But, you know, it's not a vintage.
Dwayne, in terms of the tempo of the race early, and then, Ben, I guess how the data's played out post, and we've got horses like Great House in the top 3 for some of the closing sectionals on the day. As we said, it's a perplexing form line to assess for going forward, particularly for a Caulfield Cup.
Is this horse sort of more ready for the 2,400 metres now than the 2,000? And Gold Trip, he was out in the cheap seats. He had a very ordinary run in transit, 3 wide, no cover. You know, he did it the tough way. He's got, obviously, feet issues. They struggle with that. But, you know, get him back.
Inspirational Girls run really well. I think second quickest last 200 of the entire meeting. So she's kept up a good second-up record. She didn't have a lot of luck at a crucial stage. She's finished off really strongly once she got out. You know, look at Luncy's running well. Is this a Turnbull Stakes? I'm scratching my head as to what we do with the form going forward. He's going to drop right hand up.
And just Profondo, who promised the world and has delivered an Atlas, was very prominent in all the feature markets, has gone for a bath on another disappointing performance yesterday.
So what's happened to the Caulfield Cup market off the back of yesterday? Smoke and Romans now favourite?
Yes, it's been a bit of musical chairs at the top of the Caulfield Cup market, but Smoke and Romans now a $5 favourite. Very, very short, but you can make the case, as the boys did before, drops in weight. Jamie Carr set to steer, but now the new favourite for the Caulfield Cup, and has been a firmer for the Melbourne Cup. As well, $31 into 17. But as we speak, Smoke and Romans the only runner in single-figure odds for the Caulfield Cup.
Kieran Maher had the
tough on-pace runner who just keeps giving. So Maximal, well, John said confidence in him all the way through, and that was proven yesterday when he was on a dry track with no excuses. So he was very good running second in the Group 1 there. Well, I don't know. Jewis, jury's out. Profondo, sick of making excuses for him. Jury's out. Young Werther was okay. Lonsies was all right for something easier. So I don't know about that race.
The 18th the field. We're going to watch this a few times. Many people mightn't have seen this. There's a bad fall, obviously.
Now, Siros made...
How did that happen? Well, we're going to show it, slow it down, and we'll freeze frame it and we'll zoom in. Watching the back of the field, dark colours, and the elbow come out from one of the world's great riders, Christophe Soumillon. We'll tell you his penalty in a moment. Let's zoom right in. Here's Soumillon. Rossa Ryan gets catapulted out of the saddle courtesy of an elbow.
What do you say about
Corey?
that,
Oh, it's just rude. It's wrong.
It's totally wrong. You know.
It's really wrong, to be honest.
Dangerous. There was intent. He should have got life.
Close to it.
Close to it. He got 2 months.
That's bizarre. What did poor old Mel get for grabbing hold of a leg?
Mel Shoemaker in the 1961 Derby, Blue Error and Summer Fair and poor old Tommy Hill, all Mel Shoemaker did was grab a bloke's leg and he got life.
Pulled him back a bit.
He got life.
Each steady.
You'll need about an hour if you want to watch the 2,800 metre race that Very Elegant ran in last night. To put this in context, Chriso, you can talk to this. She's run 4th last, but this is a 2,800 metre race. Yes, they were on a soft track, but the time of about 3:13, almost 3:14, was only 3 seconds off what she ran in a Melbourne Cup last year.
And 400 metres further. I mean, look, it's just a hacking speed. It was ridiculous, and it really didn't. You can see her there in the green colours, fall back the fence, like just no opportunity really at all to. And Mark Zara, of course, was trying to extricate her, and it was too late. It was just a little 600-metre sprint home, and certainly didn't suit her. I don't know where they go with her now, but this certainly didn't suit.
These slow tempo races in France have been the undoing of her. She's certainly had not the tempo to suit in any of these runs. Of course, the ARC meeting will be live on racing.com tonight, with the ARC being run at the luxurious time of 1:05 tomorrow morning.
Yes, I didn't think we'd see much slower than some of our staying races of late, but they've gone to the next level in France. The old France Gallop, the handicappers, they'll be feeling pretty good about themselves after we gave them a huge clip during the week, myself included, but they were probably vindicated. I know that she didn't have any chance there, but anyway.
Just quickly around the panel, listed Seymour Cup from Bendigo today on racing.com. Aft Cabin scratched 24 hours ago from the Caulfield Guineas. In a word, your tips for next Saturday's feature?
Amenable.
Yeah, I'm in his camp. He's flying right under the radar.
Yeah, I'm with the boys. I think big chance.
Ben's sitting at this stage.